Well, Kix, I'm glad your waifu is continuing to be quality waifu material. Ooh. Ooh. That doesn't like being minimized. Okay, so, anything else? Yeah, we should be okay to go here. Don't need any of this, right? Okay, good. Okay. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Phontomen, and welcome back to Sins of the Prophets whenever it loads. There we go. Right. So, hello, folks. Last we left off, we had gotten ourselves into a bit of a pickle here. We kind of hit a stalemate because the game mechanic says we can't do anything, which is really rather bullshit. But let's see if we can get our way out of this, or see if we do anything. We can find our way, or fight our way, or sue for fucking peace. Mainly because it's just a wasteful, it's just wasteful to continue even thinking about the war, because they won't win, we won't win, why the hell are we fighting? Let's just open trade lanes and make shitloads of money, right? I made a combo mod for Sins that makes it the Halo universe, Star Trek, Star Wars, EVE, 40k, Firefly, and Sins factions all wound up in a single supercluster. That's a fuckball of technology, sir. That is... I'm not sure what to make of that, or who would win. I'd probably have to place my, at least some bets on the 40k flying cathedral, like fucking space cathedrals. Those will probably do well, purely for the sake of being, well, giant space cathedrals. They do well because they're awesome, not because they're practical. But okay, so, right. So, our fleet is here, and we're gonna get used to that sound again, right? Right, because the stalwart production will never cease. And, yeah. Here's our line of stalwarts and Chirons. Standing at guard.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
We have no idea what's gonna happen here, no, because, yeah, the enemy fleet's here. It's 2 planets, right, okay, so we've knocked the enemy off of this planet and this planet. The only problem is we can't fucking do anything.
SFG
Because the culture pressure, more or less, it's how the game mechanic works is you build culture producing, buildings like broadcast centers, and that just makes you, reasserts your patriotism or nationalism in your nation. It's supposed to be, essentially. It makes your population into brainwashed fanatics for your side.
Our allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Well, Zeta's still losing capital ships left and right, but they've got plenty of money. And we have plenty of money. But, so, the problem is here, it's lingering, and we can't take planets, which is what it does. It's supposed to imply that there's some sort of partisan resistance remaining inside these, inside these, systems and planets that is stopping the enemy from colonizing the planet, because, whatever locals are remained after the planet's been fucking nuked from orbit is, are stopping the colonization efforts and capture efforts of the opposing nations. Which makes some sort of sense aside from...
Allied
Who's there? We glassed the planet. Why can't we take it? It sounds good on paper, however, it's a mechanic that is really quite fucking annoying, and now it's completely stopped our ability to do anything. Okay. Sad news, but it seems the new VTubers have been doxxed. Sorry, what? What? Oh, fucking ready? Why, though? Shit, man. I was actually... Well, who's been doxxed? Because, that's the big news today. That the EN HoloLive VTubers have started to premiere. We're about halfway through them. Unfortunately, because I'm streaming right now, I'm going to miss the Shark and the Inspector. All 5 of them. Wow, that was fast. Somebody must have really screwed up.
UNSC-controlled space.
The internet works fast. That it does. That it does. Wowzers, though. Wonder how they're gonna handle this. But, okay, so our situation is... Well, you see, this is fucked up, because I just saw the... Okay, no, that's the culture line. It's actually receding. It looks like... Yeah, it's actually receding quite rapidly.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so Zeta has knocked off this planet, and they're holding it.
UNSC-controlled space.
And we are holding... well, I don't have anything at Cephos, but I don't think there's anything actually over there to capture anything. So we're holding a 2 gravity well front here, trying to keep Arcadia and this, well, what is it? Magnetic cloud? Right. Basically out of enemy hands. And we've also got another front over there making sure nobody does anything funny on this flank. So more or less what we have to do is basically just sit here and hold back the enemy. Like this! You, sir! Get your ass out of my gravity well! You don't own this place anymore!
Entered UNSC-controlled space.
Heathen, we will grind you into dust.
Yeah, what else is new? 2 are debuting right now. There's 1 more, but yeah, trolls work fast. But yeah, but no, whatchamacallit. There's, whatchamacallit. Ina was the last one. There's 5 of them, and 3 of them have already debuted, so there's only 2 left. But, wow. This is gonna be kind of a mess.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Yeah.
UNSC forces have engaged the enemy.
I'm not, I'm
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
I'm not terribly, in the know with VTubers currently, because I've just kind of been watching it from the sidelines, but, yeah, no, I heard about the whole Allo situation, and, that's not good news.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so apparently, yes, they are going to attempt to fight us on this planet, but fuck you, I have shitloads of stalwarts. Ha-ha! Okay, so we're also producing, where's Mars? Right, I gotta get back into the function here. There's Mars. Yes, good.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Mars, I need reinforcements at the front.
More preliminary research is required.
We don't have any more, but continue producing, Mars.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so what's going on here?
SFFG
Actually, I have to get used to the controls again. Alright. Nope, right, nope. Doesn't have a WASD move. It's been over a week since I played last, so this is gonna be... Phonto fumbles around with the controls. The stream.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Right, so, General, just concentrate fire and, hope the death ball... whoa! Hope the death ball maintains cohesion. That was every Mac gun in the formation going off, it seems.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so they have quite a number of big ships, however, we have a very large numerical advantage. That doesn't really help against the Covenant, because the Covenant are bullshit, but this should be enough to actually wax this fleet. We'll take significant losses, but we have reinforcements coming, so all calculated.
Ready for immediate assault. SFFG online.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, well that's managing. They're knocking off the battle cruisers very slowly, but what else are we dealing with here? I don't think they have anything at Cephos. We're probably going to have to send somebody to recon back there, but it looks like
forces have entered UNSC-controlled
the culture is
space.
slowly receding. However, it looks like they've got friends holding the
Workspace
gravity
jump
well.
complete.
That's not good. So, green is starting to move their forces forward to cover for pink, it seems. That's not good, but we can handle this. So you're saying that some of your fleet may die, but that it's a sacrifice you're willing to make. It's a sacrifice that is required because this is how the war has gone. We simply cannot fight effectively any other way. The nuances of micromanagement for the UNSC kinda don't matter in this sort of situation,
Allied
because...
forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Well, honestly, the capital ships are way too glassy. So you can't really organize a fleet around your capital ships that aren't, the Infinity, but we can only have one of those. So force projection for the UNSC is down to raw numbers. The Covenant have really, really scary fucking capital ships that they can lean on with smaller fleets and micromanage, but in the end, that means that they're way better at that than us. Well, so we'll never win that game. So the only game that we can win is spam units, spam light, respectably nimble and cheap units. So it's kind of funny that the Covenant are the DPS faction and the UNSC are the Alpha faction. In this situation, we're the DPS faction and the Covenant are the Alpha faction because they have, you know, a reliance on small numbers of units. And, you know, small number units that are very effective, and we're large numbers of kind of mediocrely to not really all that effective units. So it's actually kind of inverted on somewhat of a scale here. This seems like the only fucking thing we can really do. We'll stop them like this. The only problem is we're just going to be hemorrhaging resources that we can apparently honestly deal with. We've got plenty of credits. We can buy whatever resources. It's just going to be expensive, but the only problem, you know, the only contest to that is we can pay for it. Bulwarks are space coffins with cadets fresh out of Fleet Academy get sent in to drown the enemy in blood and corpses. Yeah, pretty much. There's really no way to fight this because we, you know, rationally speaking, in this kind of situation, an army that would resort to these tactics would say, okay, this is bad. We're losing lots of men, but this is the only thing that we can do right now. And so that the army would begin to attempt to develop ways to actually counteract this while, you know, saving the bodies. You know, demanding less of the slaughter of their own men. However, this game has kind of done that and not, because it seems like UNSC capital ships just don't get any better. So we will never actually be able to develop technology and, you know, develop ships and, well, anything to fight the Covenant on a fair game here. So we are stuck throwing bodies into the machine like the Vosh, really. So this is Vosh fighting, really. This is exactly how I imagined, you know, Vosh Kudestian tactics, pretty much to a T. It is throw bodies at the problem, because we can't really do anything else. You know, we can't beat the enemy technologically. We can't keep up, or we can't, you know, devise a solution. However, we can send lots of bodies.
Allied forces have entered UNSC
Their
controlled
force modifying, you know, units are so effective that we can't devise more effective force modifying units, or rather even on par. However, we can offset those force multiplying units to neutral surely by the amount of fucking bodies we can send in.
Ready for immediate assault.
So it doesn't really, you know, a force multiplying unit, i.e. someone, you know, one man that can do the job of two, for example, doesn't really matter if you actually give them 2 men for every one of those force multiplying servants. If the numbers equal out, basically you just end into stalemates, and that's the only thing we can do right now. So Imperial Guard, throw bodies. Yes. Throw dice. Hundreds of flashlights. And that's the only thing we can do right now. And apparently the only thing we can do, because there's nothing really more effective. It's actually a surprise that we're winning. We don't have a forever war situation, thank God, where we're all fighting over a single gravity well, which would be a fucking nightmare, but we're actually winning, too. So this isn't quite a stalemate, it's actually victory.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
So the enemy is routed and we're losing ships, so we lost about half our fleet there, but we've completely routed the enemy fleet. So that's a win. No matter how many casualties we mount, yeah, the space hag is showing again, but no matter how many casualties we rack up, we are still gaining ground. Or rather holding the ground that we've gained at least. They can't push us back. So this is militarily, tactically, a victory. But strategically, we're at a stalemate because of the fucking culture. However, you know, they can still hold control of the gravity well. However, they can't do anything because we're standing here.
Will you embark upon the great journey?
If it's a win, then it's a win. Pretty much. So tactically speaking, we are winning this war. Unfortunately, strategically, we can't actually call it a victory in the end because we can't actually eliminate the enemy or force them to surrender. So this will go on until we resolve the culture problem, or I just stop playing and essentially call that a peace treaty. Because that's the only thing we can do currently, because we won't break through, we'll be here forever. And unfortunately,
have entered UNSC
I gotta keep the content fresh on this channel, because you know what, I gotta compete with, you know, anime broads too. This is a fucking tough market we're in. I gotta keep going. If I stay here, I'll never make it to, like, you know, Call of Duty Cold War, which I'm actually interested in and actually want to play this November. Because that actually looks like fun. You might see Call of Duty Phonto for an extended period. So, I can't sit here forever, but that doesn't mean the enemy wins. That means the enemy just sits there forever, and we sit there forever. the save state
Allied
stops.
forces have
So that is
entered
effectively a draw.
UNSC-controlled space.
It's not admitting defeat, it's just admitting that no progress can be made. But they still don't win. We freeze time and walk away. But, well... Oh. Are they... They're actually capturing these motherfuckers. Do we have any Phoenixes on hand here?
Our Allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Yes, we do. Wait, why are you going around that way?
Engaging thrusters.
Why the fuck are you going that
Let's not
way?
keep our passengers waiting.
Just go that way. It's less fucking dangerous. You don't have to go past the front line. What's wrong with you?
Engaging thrusters.
You know, I'm just gonna plot you a path so you don't get yourself killed.
Thrusters.
Good enough.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Human rights don't apply to aliens, even less so when they're genocidal and use giant blowtorches and to glass planets.
Allied naval
Pretty
forces have
much.
engaged the enemy.
You know, I think all treaties would
All
be
passengers, please return
more
to
or
your
less
prior
done
chambers.
with the moment the Covenant basically turned a plasma blowtorch to the surface of planets. That's effectively a nuclear weapon without radiation.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
The reason why people get up in arms about nuclear weapons is because the sheer capacity for destruction. It's also indiscriminate. The Covenants are not only indiscriminate in their choice of weapons, but also indiscriminate in their fucking doctrine. They just kill everyone. So, yeah, no.
Allied forces have entered
We have license to just do
UNSC-controlled
anything
space.
at this point. We have license to just commit total war on them. But, unfortunately, total war is being stopped because bullshit game mechanics that don't really make any sense. There's no one left alive here, but the gravity wells are just...
Heathen, we will grind you into dust.
They just won't. They won't vote for. They won't vote for any human presidents. I guess.
Allied forces have
Dude,
entered
help.
UNSC-controlled
I saw a
space.
meme and came up with 3 new commission ideas for my OC wife. Well, as long as you've got the money to, feed those artists, go at it. Those artists need. Well, they need work. So. If you can give them ideas and they're
Our
actually there to
allies'
fulfill
colony
them,
is
go
under
nuts.
planetary bombardment.
That's how the system works. Artists are there to, well, you fill the world with art, really. I don't though, and I have over 50 ideas. Save them then. Just have a big pile of them. Pick the best ones. So, okay,
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
aside from the enemy sneaking through and actually getting these resources,
Our
looks-
Allied capital ship has been neutralized.
it looks all quiet, but again...
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so here you see that the culture for purple was receding now and has receded to this gravity well.
All passengers,
It
please return
stopped.
to your cryo chamber.
However, will it move off of this? I don't know. It kind of looks like the culture for yellow is increasing in this direction.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled
Actually, no.
space.
It's going back. Oh, God. So what can we do here? I don't think we can do anything. My border worlds are already set up to just produce as much culture as possible. Yeah,
Allied forces
we've
have
got as
entered
many
UNSC-controlled
broadcast
space.
stations as I think I can hold. Even if I gut everything else, I think we've just... The only thing then would be I have to gut my tech
UNSC
labs, and that's a
forces have
terrible
engaged
idea.
The enemy.
That means I can't use my tech, I don't think.
Bomber here.
I think pretty much if you lose tech labs, you lose access to the research even if you've already researched it. So that's not an option. So, okay, so yeah, 5 broadcast stations. I don't think I can do anything aside from sit here and hope to God the stalemate breaks.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space. Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
So, yeah, no, I don't think this is actually doable. I mean, we can attempt to continue the attack. We could push up to this gravity well and see what we can manage here, but I don't think we can actually really do anything substantial anymore. One thing I will do is I will send
UNSC frigate reporting in.
send
According
one
to
ship
SSC.
back that direction just to check on it, because we haven't seen anything out of that, and they may have tried to flank around us. It looks like they're sending more...
Stalwart class.
They are attempting to re-engage us.
Archer pods are hot.
So what I want to do is actually just push forward and attack this side, but then We don't... Then we run into the problem of we don't have enough ships.
Where's our target?
We could start splitting up the fleet into small, and, ever smaller and smaller, groupings. And, well, we did lose some, so I suppose we're going to have a little bit more room here for another fleet. So we do have more. I was a bit over-exaggeration. Yeah, over-exaggerating. We can have more ships, but in the end, we need so many ships to secure a victory that, yeah. We can't really risk splitting them all up, and our ally is absolutely no help because he has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
SFFG online.
It's so much harder to earn money with the quarantine, though. That I know. Things are not great out there, so it's probably better that you hold on to your money rather than,
have entered UNSC
putting it out to artists.
space.
Artists do need to live, however,
SFFG
you kind of need to live yourself. This is kind of what I expected out of, me right now in the quarantine. People like me, and they want to see me keep doing this job. However, in the end, you don't have infinite money to throw at me. We see that a Dancing Fool likes to push his luck to the absolute limit here, but no, see to yourselves first, folks. I won't mind. But, okay, so we're being re-engaged here.
Where's our target?
Okay, so we have a large enough fleet here, so there's not that much to worry about. All the ships need to, get into formation, but in the end, we do have a large enough fleet to actually start cracking at them, which is all we need. I want to say that's moving forward, but I don't know. Actually, it looks like, yes, no, it is growing.
Forces have entered UNSC controlled
The culture
space.
is growing, however, it's not making any progress here. That side, that planet probably has more temples, so that might be an issue. But it looks like Sethos is not colonized. However, the green...
What can I do for you?
Green's fleets are moving through there, and that's not good. But it looks like yellow
Engines
is
at 100%.
putting forces out here, so that's workable. But
Where's our target?
all of this hinges on what happens when this gravity well flips over, really. Or if actually, hey!
Get ready for active duty.
That is slowly receding. Thank Christ. We might have a chance.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
We might have a chance here. It's slowly receding. We just have to hold our ground. Okay,
Get
so
ready for active
they're all
duty.
fucking dead over there, so
Get
let's
ready for active
bring the
duty.
ships in to actually, start attacking the rest of the fleet here, since they seem to set two fleets in rather sporadically. So, this culture is receding, and this is growing over here. This planet's knocked out, this planet's knocked out, and this planet's knocked out. We can
Get ready for
further...
active duty.
We could
ready for
further
active duty.
increase the gap here, or rather increase the territorial gain here by attacking this planet. However, that means that this gravity well is going to be open, so, Alright, so the Phoenixes are here, right?
What does the UNSC need of us?
Y'all yeah, you
SFFG
autocast.
online.
You get your ass in there and you start autocasting. They shouldn't have these resources, but the AI likes to be cheeky fuckers and sneak things
Allied
through.
forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Okay, so we've got some movement here. We might be able to actually get something done here, but more or less what we need to do is immediately take a planet and then start building just culture. So just take, like, Sethos, for example, and just fill it with broadcast centers as much as humanly possible, and then we might be able to, force the wedge open. So, we got our foot in the door here, and it's slowly letting the draft in. Let's see if we can actually put some more leverage and open the door fully. So it is going to be slow going, and I wish that this is the part where I wish I had
Allied
had a
forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
time dilation mechanic here.
Stalwarts reporting in.
Okay, so this is mostly small fries. So good. Nothing to worry about. I don't need to direct these ships all that much here. It's just a bunch of small fries. Basically, if I just move the entire fleet on top of the enemy fleet, they'll be done. Working on a big project that my friend has
Allied
projected
forces
to
have entered UNSC
$100
controlled
plus
space.
as a thank you to
SFFG
my community
online.
and a sort of celebration of surviving this year. Well, that's good. we do need to.
Allied forces
I think
have
everybody
entered UNSC-controlled
around New Year's
space.
is going to be celebrating the fact that we're alive because, yeah, 2020 tried to kill everyone. 2020 outright, like, mask off, tried to kill everyone. It really goddamn tried to kill the entire human race.
SFFG online.
We're good, seemingly now. Knock on wood, but yeah.
UNSC forces have engaged the enemy.
Okay, so
SFFG online.
all right, so this fleet is actually
We
together.
stand a chance.
So hold on here.
SFFG moving to position.
Let's create a fleet here of these units and actually send them into the breach here, because that seems like the most ideal situation.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled
What
space.
we could do is send these units, well,
Nav point confirmed.
have the fleets link up and then simultaneously attack Palmok here, and then Icaron right here. And then also potentially, well, if this is still not taken, which I think it probably is, Parvamemnon. Right, okay. So, we might want to, we could force the wedge open further by simultaneous attack here, but, we still gotta wait for the culture to do anything, because this is receding, but we'll see if it actually winds up actually amounting to anything. We may need to take out more broadcast centers behind the enemy lines, however, we have to maintain the planets that we have, or rather, we have to maintain control of the gravity well so the enemy doesn't sneak back in, colonize, and start building more fucking broadcast centers.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
So this basically has to be a slow, secure walk. Once we walk forward, we have to make sure we don't walk backwards. We have to make sure that we have all of the territory under control that we take. Or the enemy's just going to sneak right back around us, take control of the planet, and then we have to start the process all over again. Which is going to be the most annoying fucking part of this.
Punch it.
But, okay, so this is... It's receding a little bit, I think. The culture's growing. But, looks like... Okay, so culture is growing out this direction as well. So this is good. About the only thing I could think to do would be the crazy option, which would be attempt to destroy all of the enemy's broadcast centers at once, but that's not going to happen because we need way too many
Flip
ships.
space jump complete.
We need more ships than we can handle to actually manage gravity wells like that. So, this is...
Allied forces
we're going to have to take out as many as we
UNSC-controlled
can.
space. Allied forces have
And just
entered
hope to God that that's going to be
UNSC-controlled
enough to
space.
set back the culture train, because that's the only option we have. But it looks like the culture is, once
Allied
again,
naval
bringing
forces
itself
have
back up,
engaged the
which
enemy.
is...
Our
That's
Allied
what I want to
capital
see.
ship has been neutralized.
This is going to be a mess, but, well, this is the only option we have. It's going to enter the 13th month of 2020. 2020 is never going to end. The 13th, the forbidden month. The 13th month of the year. Not seen since, well, the last apocalyptic event. That actually was an apocalypse and
Punch
not,
it.
you know,
Allied
people
forces
babbling
have
nonsense
entered
like 2020.
UNSC-controlled space.
Okay, so we're going to have one push, and then we're going to see what we can hold on to with that one push, because that's all we're going to get. So if we lock up this planet and this planet, this line of fortifications will hold. We push forward, we knock out all three planets in a line here. We might be able to... Well, actually, that's what we should do. We should send this fleet over here.
Mobilizing.
Send them over here, hold that line. Send this fleet forward and hold this line. And then send this fleet forward and hold this line. Which means, at that point, the only avenue of attack that they have
Allied
is
forces have entered
right through-
UNSC-controlled space.
Juno? Juno? But I'll just call it Juno. Right, so right through Juno,
Allied
which
forces have
our
entered
allies are
UNSC
attempting to
controlled
hold.
space.
So that's effectively a contested point. They won't just waltz through it. So that seems to be the most secure option. Rather, the option for, you know, for us to get the most security out of our attack. Though this large green fleet is worrying, because I know the AI will not fucking stand and fight. I'm very, very wary of this. So I see this. He should be able to hold this, but I know number of ships doesn't matter to him.
Our Allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Because they won't win it, because the AI
Allied
thinks in
forces
pure
have entered
DPS, and the Covenant ships will always
UNSC-controlled
have
space.
higher DPS. So the AI doesn't know how to handle a UNSC ship, which is our
Allied
main
forces have entered
frustration.
UNSC controlled space.
But we're just gonna have to wait until our ships get into position and then warp forward in basically a 3-prong attack. I really hope we can do something, but I'm not seeing any movement. You see, it's equalized here. And it also looks like it's actually pushing forward back onto the gravity well here. That's not good. This is, well, actually, this is moving backwards a bit, but... So, the line of culture here is
Allied naval
stable.
forces have engaged the enemy.
This is moving back a bit, but now this is but as you saw here, this line here was moving backwards, and now it's moved back forward
Allied
again.
forces have entered UNSC.
So it's starting to
space.
recede is no guarantee that it actually will recede all the way. So now I'm playing stupid games with a fucking really sketchy game mechanic, honestly. I know it's probably here for some kind of, I understand the general idea behind the culture mechanic to make your
UNSC
worlds harder to
forces have
take.
engaged the enemy.
But I feel like locking down the entire gravity well probably was kind of a mistake in design. But, well, in Vanilla Sins, you have weapons that can just wipe gravity wells entirely from long range. So that's a little more understandable with having to lock down the gravity well when you have weapons that can just delete all fortifications. But here, we don't have those. And so, we actually have to fight for these planets, and when we fight, we usually take so many losses that, it's a fight every time we get, it's an actual fight, and if you lost the actual fight, it's a fair loss. So, this is kind of an unnecessary mechanic here, having the culture here. So, but we still have to deal with it because it's rooted into the game.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
What? I put my hand out expecting the mic to be under my hand, because, I have total in-post control, and then I put my hand right next to my mouse and went, where's my mouse? Calm down, Phonto. Oh, great. Well, it's a very large fleet. I hope they do something. Are they doing something? They seem to be engaging and actually holding their ground. Amazing. It only took turning the AI up to the hardest fucking difficulty. How the hell is this mod actually balanced? UNSC fleets cost peanuts. It is balanced, I suppose, because playing it against human players means that the Covenant are going to have a harder time micromanaging, and the UNSC can kind of exploit that with proper fleet composition and being able to essentially alpha strike and shock down ships. But I can see how this could be somewhat compelling in terms of a player versus player environment. However, I would not want to play as competitively as the UNSC.
Forces have engaged
Because to me, honestly, it looks like the Covenant are fucking easy mode. They will trounce you unless you are amazingly good at UNSC. Which
forces have entered
we've seen, we have found a UNSC strategy. Spam stalwarts. I'm not sure about any other, strategies that could come out of, say, the other admirals, but, this seems to be an effective strategy that the UNSC can feel.
Forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
The Covenant still can, pretend that they aren't throwing ships directly at you and basically, play fleet composition and try to be somewhat organized and thoughtful about their movements. Here it's just, I'm macroing like nobody's fucking business. This is, take ships and move them over there gameplay at its finest. And then when they get engaged, have all of the ships shoot that one ship.
Our allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Got any tips for someone about to try out Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, I think? Play TEC Loyalist, and sit on your ass with 2-star bases per gravity well and make tremendous bank. Unending tremendous bank. The enemy will actually be unable to just do anything to your Fortress of Warm Permanence. Seriously, I told the story beforehand, I think, in one of the earlier, streams for this game, where I had a starbase on a planet that had to be abandoned.
Allied forces have entered UNSC
I lost the planet, I
space.
lost the gravity well, I lost the entire solar system, so it was actually on a different star, and I had to retreat out of the system to another system to rebuild, because I got totally thrown out. That starbase survived on its own, unassisted, against repeated attacks. Jesus Christ. Don't fuck with UNSC starbases. Rather, TEC starbases, since it's vanilla. UNSC starbases are actually quite glass. The anchor stations do not hold a candle to TEC starbases. But for Rebellion in general, just kind of see, what you can, what you can, what you like. Because I tried to play the Advent. I like some of the Advent things. I just never really got a handle on them. And then there's the Vasari, I think it's the alien race. I like them too, and I played them a little bit more, but I just felt way more comfortable playing TEC. Like,
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
The window-licking
UNSC
Terran
forces
player
have
that I
engaged
am.
the enemy.
Okay, so, right. Greenhouse planets are not colonizable. I forgot about that. So, there's nothing here. Well, fantastic. We'll just hold that gravity well then.
Who needs an escort?
Wait, where the fuck are these guys coming from?
Green light confirmed.
Okay, so they must be trying to leak through this gravity well. But, okay, so we've been engaged. So our reinforcement fleet has arrived on the front line, and there's no enemy resistance to speak of. Good. But our fleet up here has been engaged by yet another Covenant fleet, which we will have to knock down.
Green light confirmed.
Once we do knock this down, they might need reinforcements. Isn't that pretty? Ain't that pretty, though? It's like a galaxy coming through to absolutely obliterate that fucking carrier. Jesus Christ, it made the entire screen flash white. Good lord. And it's fucking dead. You're not beating that. I do not know how you can beat that. That's a massive Covenant capital ship just vaporized. I have not encountered any other, combination of ships in the UNSC fleet that can do something like that. I'm not sure I can beat that, and I don't think I'm going to try at this point. Okay, so once again, the enemy fleet is about a quarter the size of our fleet, but that only means it's kind of a fair fight in our favor. I'm still expecting to lose about 50% of this fleet.
UNSC-controlled space.
Just because that's how these engagements work.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
So they'll continue engaging, but let's have a look, see what's going on here. We might be able to move our other units. Okay, well, the culture here is receding yet again. So that's good, but I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work out.
What can I do for you?
You can kill the enemy is what you can do for me.
Brace for impact. We are engaging the enemy.
This is a much smaller fleet, though, over here.
Navigation. Bring weapon systems online.
I didn't notice that this fleet in this magnetic cloud was this small. That's a problem. However, we can bring reinforcements forward and actually just have this fleet, which is much larger, attached to the other point. We can just do the switcheroo. We can have this
Allied
unit move down here and this unit move up here.
UNSC-controlled space.
Let me call up Mars. And have them just continue Stalwart and Chiron production.
More preliminary research is required.
I asked my artist who I usually commission, and she said not to worry. There will always be a time later to get paid artwork done and to consider how many lovely pieces have been created this year alone. Well, she seems nice. But okay, so,
Where's our target?
They are bringing reinforcements over here.
Online.
We gotta secure that gravity well, but this is gonna be still a mess. So
Stalwart
these
class light frigate ready for orders.
These ships might need micromanagement here, because I think I need to do that in order to make sure they kill the capital ships that are actually in front of them, since it's a much smaller fleet. Even does extra variations without extra pay. That's a nice quality.
FFG online.
Okay.
Where's our target?
So, alright, so the major capital ships are done, now it's just knocking down the small fries. Quite like that!
Allied naval
Immediately
forces
vaporize.
engage the enemy.
You see, this is what I would term macro fighting. You just select all of your units and click on one guy you want dead.
FFG online.
And that guy is removed. Slower now because the MAC guns are charging, but there he is. Alright, that guy.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Yeah, this guy.
SFFG online.
It's gotta be to the point where these guys are so dead that the game actually has to take... I'm basically outrunning the damage calculator, more or less.
Capital ship has been
As you can see, they sit there being destroyed, but, you know, they're being destroyed so fucking fast that the game actually has to kind of blink and go, oh wait, damage exceeded, and then play the death animation. Like that.
SFFG online.
That one attempted to cloak and was immediately
Allied
disintegrated.
forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Wow.
Ready for immediate assault.
No, I don't think I could actually find anything that the UNSC can do that is this effective. It actually feels like a really bonehead cheese strategy that actually...
Get ready for active duty.
There might need to be some development changes to how UNSC plays if this is the peak strategy that I could manage here. Because it is just spamming one single ship type and clicking on enemies. Granted, it requires the tooling of an entire economy behind it to continuously produce ships forever, but in the end, this feels like a little bit too easy. And
Our Allied capital ship has been neutralized.
okay, so these guys are... You guys need to be a fleet.
Your orders?
I don't know why you're not a fleet already.
Engines at 100%.
UNSC forces have engaged the enemy.
SFFG online.
Come on, boys, knock those ships out. These guys might actually need help. This is kind of how the UNSC had to fight. True, but in the end, this is kind of fucked for balance. I would actually appreciate some artificiality in the situation, but then again, additionally, this isn't entirely accurate. The engagement range of MAC cannons is actually nerfed. So, really what the UNSC in this situation is capital ships that are worth a damn, that aren't just the Infinity. Because those just get primaried and die. They need
Allied forces have
way more health or
UNSC-controlled space.
defensive abilities that stop them from being immediately vaporized. Because they might as well just be fucking balloons filled with air. The moment they get shot at, the first shot streaks through the hull and then everything dies. The Shark Girl is just singing the words "I'm a shark" over and over again,
Allied
and Twitter is
forces have
blowing up
entered
about how
UNSC-controlled
cute
space.
it is. This is kind of what I expected of the Shark Girl. Gar seems pretty wholesome.
Together we stand a chance.
So...
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
the culture's receding back over here, but it's still rooted in fucking place, so I'm not sure how to do this. I'm gonna take these 3 planets, and if we don't see any significant progress, we're done. Because I don't think you can actually overcome this at this point. Because there's really nothing else that I can do. So this might be the end of the Let's Play here and just a draw. And next time I'll be quicker about culture, I guess, if we play this again. But then again, if we play this,
Together we stand a chance.
I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be playing with actual people. Also, we're taking significant losses, as you can see by the amount of people that are waiting to be stuffed into these flying coffins. But... 25... Actually, yeah, right.
SFFG online.
This fleet needs reinforcement, so I'm actually probably going to have to stall the attack, but it looks like the enemy has retreated. This fleet, however, looks like they're in no position to actually move forward, so I'm just going to have to sit there while reinforcements catch up. This fleet, however, needs to knock out the rest of its ships.
SFFG online.
So it would appear that we're having
Cannon is hot.
a bit of an issue getting rid of the enemy.
Brace for impact. We are engaging the enemy.
Come on, boys, actually focus down the fucking ships.
Mac
You were doing it pretty good there. But see, this is the kind of thing that you need to do with
Allied
UNSC. You need to
forces
nanny
entered
primary targets.
UNSC-controlled space.
Because that's what this the UNSC does. They just alpha damage everything.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
But it looks like my advance is stalled. They need reinforcements.
Show me those Seraphs.
If not, they
SFFG
might
online.
break through because we're losing too many ships. This is not good.
Where's our target? Mobilizing.
I'm gonna have these ships get the fuck over there because that's the only thing we can really manage.
Who needs an escort?
I guess I'm gonna have to send this fleet up there to actually
Spinning engine
attempt to take out these ships. Or attempt to take out this gravity well.
Allied forces
They have the numbers to do it.
UNSC-controlled space.
The only problem is, I don't know if we can hold this line, but it doesn't look like the enemy's holding this line at all. We'd have to go over here and take
Allied
this
forces
planet.
have entered UNSC
Which,
controlled space.
we could, but we need to gear up for that assault. And it looks like, well, our forces are kind of faltering right now. They're just kind of spinning around and venting atmosphere.
Slip space jump complete.
We need
Here,
further reinforcements,
We will
unfortunately.
grind you into dust.
Local Martin lives. Hello, Martin. Okay, you fuckers.
Spinning engine course.
Looks like the enemy's breaking off, but wait a minute, that's the wrong fucking fleet. And then again, you're going over here.
SFFG online.
Okay,
Allied
good.
forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
It's a small force.
Nav point confirmed. Spinning engine course.
Get your asses over there and shoot up the place.
SFFG online.
Engage everything. However, most of the,
Stalwart
some of these
reporting
units
in.
are not in a fleet.
Mobilizing.
How the fuck did that happen? Tight cohesion. Engage everything. Right, so... How are you guys holding up?
SFFG online.
It's gonna come down to the wire. We might lose this fleet just for the sheer fact that we didn't have as many units here that I
Purge
thought we did.
navigation. Bring weapon systems online.
We're still gaining ground though, but we're gonna have a fleet running around the back fleet. And that's gonna
Where's
be
our target?
kind of annoying.
Together we stand a chance. Together we stand a chance.
Okay, so these units are they're the units coming through the gravity well, I think.
Stalwart reporting in.
No, these units are fresh off the lot. Oh right, they're still producing. It looks like. No, actually, these units don't have orders. Okay, I'm not sure where these units decided to come from, but okay,
Get ready
fine.
for active duty.
Looks like one of the fleets just kind of got stopped. Rather, some of the reinforcements just kind of stood there, but they'll continue forming the fleet. We're going to need more ships. So we have plenty of need for ships, so you can keep producing and organizing, and then we're going to throw them at a target when they're
Get ready
actually
for active duty.
well put together enough. But it... Okay, so now the culture is actually pushing back over here. That's good. This culture has, unfortunately, stalled. It's being pushed back by yellow, but it looks like they just kind of ate up the middle ground instead of actually doing anything.
SFFG online.
But, this line of culture is completely receded. Actually, no, it's not, because we lost all of our ships in that gravity well. That's why. Now I got a rogue fleet. That's not good. But hopefully they just kind of throw them at the reinforcements over here. That's on me for not realizing how few ships I had in that gravity well. I thought I had more. Oh, great, green. What the fuck do you want?
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Great.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
His buddies are coming to shoot at me. That's fantastic.
SFFG online.
Just have to wait for our reinforcements to reach the front line and hope it'll hold.
Together we stand a chance.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
This fleet will be able to take this gravity well, no problem. What happens after that, I don't know. We can continue producing units, but at this rate, we're just going to be stuck sitting on our hands waiting for the culture to do anything.
Get ready for active duty.
Show me those Seraphs.
Okay, that's their capital ships knocked
Let's
out.
bring the fight to these
One of their
fighters.
capital ships knocked out. There's enough units here to hold their positions, and they'll be reinforced eventually.
Get ready for active duty.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Ah, wait a minute.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
Where the hell did you
controlled
come from?
space.
taking losses again. Looks like we might lose that entire fleet, but this is something we expected anyway. We're going to lose... at some point, we're going to lose all of these ships. How is still to be determined, but at some point, we will, in fact, lose all of these ships, and they will be replaced by completely new, shining, sparkly, fresh ships filled with fresh-faced recruits that are immediately going to be fed into this meat grinder that this war has become.
To war.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
They, of course, have a fucking... Well, that what accounts for their starbase here, but let's see if we can get rid of that first.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Right, Martin, you didn't really miss very much because I'm attempting to actually put the assault into action now, which will determine whether or not this game is salvageable. So you got here just in time. However, we're having logistical setbacks here.
Who needs an escort?
Those units will be fine. I think I need to sit here and micro this fleet because it needs the help.
To war.
It's taking losses. There aren't that many enemies left, though, but it needs to be... All the fire needs to be focused to minimize our losses in return.
Allied forces have
Considering the frame rate at this point, I'm going to say we're at the end of the rope here. Pretty much. It's not really down to performance, though. It's down to the fact that we can't do anything because culture is a broken mechanic. And the enemy is so well entrenched that we just kill their reinforcements, and we can't actually make any headway. And the moment we take a gravity well, they just take it back. So we have to stand here and try to fight them with, over the one gravity well at a time, which we can do. The only problem is, because of culture, we can't actually do anything else. So we can sit here, sitting on top of the enemy's planets for basically all day, and the problem is we can't make any headway. We can't take any of the ground because culture says no, you can't, which is gonna be the end of this Let's Play, I suppose.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters. Archpods are hot.
Alright.
To war.
That's the majority of the green ships knocked out.
Allied
Reinforcements can't
forces
get
have
here
entered
soon enough, though.
UNSC-controlled space.
So,
All surface hostiles have been eliminated.
what do you mean all surface hostiles have been eliminated? We're not oh, no, this planet, right. The Chirons must have been engaging
Together
the planet.
we stand a chance.
Our allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Guys, though, we need to knock this shit out, though. Get rid of those fucking temples.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
It's these things. These are the things that are screwing up our entire game here.
Archpods are hot.
So apparently the detective is super interactive with her stream. I would have hoped she would be energetic. Well, energetic.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Either energetically charming,
Allied
or
forces have
energetic
entered
and
UNSC.
just starts, like, having just
Allied
bouts
forces
of
have entered UNSC
angry British
controlled
girl.
space.
To
Like
war.
calling jelly beans some humans in Fall Guys.
Archpods are hot.
This is the one thing I wanted to see out of, English-speaking VTubers, because all the other VTubers, the popular ones, they're actually really, really, really good entertainers in terms of, well, just being really goddamn on point with, like, fucking decisive opinions about
Spinning
things.
engine course.
They make they make jokes with
Our
teeth,
allied
this is what I'm
colony
getting
is
at.
under planetary
This is
bombardment.
what I want to see out of the English VTubers, and, well, most of them are pretty
Allied
docile.
forces have entered
Calliope
UNSC
seems like that kind of girl,
controlled
though.
space.
We gotta see exactly what she's gonna do. So when are you going to become an anime girl? When I can safely stop this job, and then I can do it for fun again. Not sure when that'll be, but that'll be a production all its own. I'll be freelance, I'll do whatever the fuck I want, and I'll come in at as high an angle attack as I can manage.
Embark upon the
As
great
in,
journey.
get as close to full 3D model as possible, just out of the
To
gate.
war.
Just come in and just shock the entire system. I have no idea when that'll be, though. But I'd like to actually have fun with it and actually give myself time to de-stress and then fill a new role, because these girls have got it made in the shade in terms of just actually having fame thrown at them.
Allied forces
However, there are some
entered
problems with it.
UNSC-controlled
So it's
space.
not all, roses, but they need to deal with the rigors of public life, which, well, the doxing thing is kind of the biggest issue. And also, with demands on themselves to basically maintain a constant persona, which is,
SFFG moving to
well,
position.
something that I tried to do, I suppose, in my streams, but due to the sheer amount of streams that I had to do, well, you see me now. I would have liked to game the persona, the showman persona a little bit harder here, but in the end, there's not a lot I can do with the amount of time and stress that I've been under over the last 3 years.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
4 years, really. So, that kind of went its way, and if I wanted to be a VTuber, that's kind of what I'd want to bring
Allied
back. However, that
forces
means I have
entered
to
UNSC-controlled
calmly
space.
and quietly put a stop to everything and say, look, I want to play a pretend character on the internet and enjoy myself.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Someone slapped the centaur girl from Monster Musume on a bomber. On an actual bomber, or just a skin for, like, War Thunder or something? Because that I can see.
Green
People
light
have done
confirmed.
worse. An actual bomber.
Inbound UNSC
What type?
reinforcements.
Which branch is responsible for this? Whoa! I didn't notice that. Right, I forgot
Allied
that's there.
forces have entered
I forgot that's there and
UNSC-controlled space.
forebodingly
UNSC
large.
forces have engaged the
Forgot
enemy.
about that. Hadn't zoomed in
Allied
on
naval
that for a
forces have
while.
engaged the enemy.
I thought I was looking at this planet, all of a sudden a foreign structure had teleported on top of my units.
Heathen, we will grind you into dust.
I don't know the type, but it looks kind of like a Hercules. So the transports.
Who needs an escort?
I'm sorry. Yeah, well. I suppose in that regard, maybe the C-130s are about the only ones that can actually get away with that, because frontline aircraft can't have paint on them, says the Army. Well, says the Air Force.
Allied forces
Military in
have
general.
entered UNSC
The Air Force has
controlled
become
space.
completely no fun, and they say that paint degrades the performance of the aircraft and, causes maintenance concerns. Meanwhile, the Japanese are painting their Phantoms and the F-15s up like works of art. We can't have fun. We're just gray base paint. Well, gray blotch camouflage, get me.
Mobilizing.
It's there for a reason. It's not just because we're lazy, but in the end, we can't have fun with our planes anymore.
Who needs an escort?
Okay, so we have effectively neutralized this gravity well, taking considerable losses, however, fighting the enemy down to appreciable levels. That fleet looks very large, though. So this might be a problem, but we've got more reinforcements streaming forward, and, yeah.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
We need to get that solar
Allied
production
forces
back up
have
if we're going to do
entered
anything at all.
UNSC-controlled space. More preliminary research is required.
Okay, so this fleet
Our
is actually...
allies' colony is under planetary bombardment.
Yeah, they left some ships here, so we're going to get rid of them before we actually make a bigger dent on the enemy.
SFFG
This
online.
fleet will probably act as reinforcements for the fleet already entrenched, which is actually... Whoa.
Mobilizing.
Actually, they need to get out there now, because the stalwarts are starting to recede. They're probably going to still make
Your
a
order?
dent, however, these guys look
UNSC
doomed.
frigate reporting in.
Ready for immediate.
So what they can do is take out the biggest capital ships and, hurt the enemy the most in terms of
SFFG online.
ship composition, but in the end, I think we're going to lose this fight.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Right, so we'll get the bigger ships. We'll get that last big ship, and that's probably the only thing those
Where's
units are
our
going to
target?
do. So they need reinforcements.
SFFG online.
We got a second wave of reinforcements heading through Rodari here, which we'll leave there and send them north to Arcadia. But we've knocked out the culture-producing buildings here, thank Christ. Whether or not they actually do anything for the front is still to be determined.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Does anyone actually know? Glassed planet. Wait, glass planets are not colonizable.
We will grind you into dust.
Wait, what? Wait, did that come off? I thought that was a magma planet. Did that actually... Was that a planet that actually got glassed? In which case,
Allied forces.
Also,
have
during my
entered
drunken
UNSC
escapades last night, I
controlled
apparently
space.
got a bunch of Shadow play recordings of me running around in Verdun
SFFG
set to lo-fi
online.
music. I saw you change, like, you posted something on Twitter about going to play Verdun with lo-fi playlist or something like that, so I remember that on Twitter. You shouldn't be posting on Twitter while you're completely sauce, though. That's a bad idea.
SFFG online.
Honestly, now I personally ban myself from fucking Twitter the moment I start drinking. I just don't fucking open it. AC 130 Hercules. Yeah, right. The fucker's moving shit around.
Online.
The Air Force's mailmen. Hey, it could have been worse. Yes, it could, which is why I take the precautions now. But that's on me. If you're a responsible drinker, though, you won't have to take said precautions.
SFFG online.
No, AC, spooky. Oh, spooky. Right, shit, I forget the, whatchamacallit. I forget the designation sometimes, so I see 130, I'm thinking, oh, it's just a transport plane, but no, spooky. Implying responsible.
SFFG online.
Martin, you're a responsible drinker
Allied
most of the
forces have
time.
entered UNSC-controlled space.
You don't go totally blitz sometimes, or actually really most of the time. You're actually well adjusted to casual drinking. Me, on the other hand, you could say that I have a problem, but my problem is when I start drinking, I feel nice and I don't want to come the fuck down. That leads to me drinking a little bit too much when I start. Trying to get a handle on that, though. Boss, the camera is glitching. Is it glitching?
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Must have just been a momentary thing, I don't see it.
Get ready for active duty.
Okay, so, well,
Show me those seraphs.
there's reinforcements here, and, well, they're engaging the fleet.
Ready for immediate
It might need even more reinforcements.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Just
Get
did a
ready
glitch.
for active duty.
Oh, well, it looks like it's gone. Can't see it.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Are we engaging the
Show me those
enemies?
seraphs.
Yes.
Nav point confirmed.
Engage, kill.
Astropods are hot.
Get ready for active duty.
I can't drink. History of alcoholism on the male side. Well, it's really kind of easy to slip into, as I've found, and also even easier to slip into now because everyone's at their home. You know, everyone's sitting at home, stressed the fuck out, but nothing to do with drink for a lot of people.
SFFG online.
I'm gearing up to McFucking die tonight in Valkyria Chronicles. All right, the game.
Where's our target?
You're doomed already? That was a short campaign.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Okay, so
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
I cracked this planet. There's nothing else that they can do aside from go down here. So I'm not seeing this culture seems to be receding this direction, it looks like.
UNSC forces
But that's
have
not a
engaged the enemy.
colonizable planet, so I can't really do very much.
SFFG online.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do.
Frigate reporting in.
I'm going to send these ships forward and to
Coordinates
attack
received.
Palmok. At the same time, I'm going to send what's left of this fleet
Stalwarts
in
reporting in.
as a secondary assault force. So these guys will push in because they're fresh with reinforcements, and then these beleaguered units will
Get ready
follow
for
up the
active
rear.
duty.
And I will continue producing reinforcements and sending them
Allied forces
forward.
have entered UNSC-controlled space.
SFFG moving to position.
Rodari seems to be the point of no return, where you leave human civilization and you enter the fucking forever war that's over here.
SFFG online. Who needs an escort?
Alright, biggest ship in the fleet here. That one.
To war. Green light first.
Will you embark upon the great journey?
No! Get out of my solar system! If the artillery coordinates that we pass along were ineffectual, then we'll be fighting one medium tank, 4 ALR-44s, and a fuck ton of Vinish APCs. Ah, yes,
SFFG
Vinland. Well,
online.
the French are actually doing something in your world. Wow, amazing. Come to think of it, that's actually a pretty good choice, honestly.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
I'm thinking about how right it would draw an ALR-44 in, you know, Valkyria Chronicle
Allied
style. And actually,
forces have entered
that-
UNSC-controlled
that feels
space.
pretty aesthetic. Would you embark upon the great journey if it had TACO? Yes. However, I gotta look at the fine print here because, as we all know, the great journey is a fucking lie. So, my head says, yeah, the Great Journey, but I'd actually probably be saving my wife from a cult by the sounds of it. Right? And then it's just World War II again, it sounds like. You know, replace the Covenant with Imperial Japan. Yeah, that sounds about right in my head.
Entered UNSC controlled space.
So, TLR, tonight would be a good fucking time for your TD trio to suddenly show up for a game. We'll see how this goes.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Archer pods are hot.
Guys, kill the enemy, please. Good lord, the AI. Sit there and primary the units in front of you one after the other. How hard is that? Glitchy cam. Is it glitching out again? Like, what's it doing? Because I don't see it in OBS, and I look over at my Twitch preview that's over there, and I don't see it.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled
Did
space.
Vera fuck with another wire? Well, she's screwed with some wires, but she's not in here, and I kept her out from chewing things, so... I don't see it. It must be a Twitch thing. Just a split-second fuckery. Because of chat delay. Probably. But... got me paranoid, because I can't see that. It's so quick I can't actually notice. Okay, so in the shadow of this giant forerunner fucking structure...
Nav point confirmed.
So we need to go over here and make a dent into these... anything. So I can't even take this.
Allied forces.
Well,
have
though I
entered
don't think you can
UNSC
actually really do
controlled
anything about it.
space.
I think it's basically just a black hole, which is nice, but it's just a black hole. It doesn't really do anything for you. But okay, so... reinforcements have been dwindled here. However, what's the size of the battle group? They've been whittled down, of course, because the AI doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. You'd think it'd be easy for the enemy to just kind of or like what the AI to just kind of look at something and shoot it a lot. You think with the sheer number of things I had over here would be, they wouldn't lose like this, but this is what happens when you step away and you don't have an you know, an apocalyptic number of fucking stalwarts.
Together we stand a chance.
So our ground is actually being lost here, and that's not
Together we stand a
good.
chance.
We have reinforcements for this side, though. So this side, well, the assault is in full swing here. We're gonna make a dent here.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Spinning engine
So
core.
y'all get your asses over there and start taking out those temples. The reinforcements coming in behind you. Alright. Okay, and the
Our
casualty
allies'
numbers are
colony
coming
is under
back.
Planetary bombardment.
And things are not good, so, yeah, need to get them stalwarts back
Footsteps
up and
jump complete.
producing.
SFFG online.
So A's AI is mainly what made me drop the game. Well, with this situation, yeah, most of my problem is being caused by the AI and some Sin's fuckery.
Show me those seraphs.
And the fact that I cannot project a force big enough to actually
SFFG
just
online.
beat the ever-loving shit out of the Covenant on every planet. And also my AI partner, who could be doing really good right now if he actually had any sense.
SFFG online.
So yes, the huge ball of consuming stalwarts is
Together we stand
moving
a chance.
slowly towards victory.
Nav point confirmed.
How this is going to affect anything at all, I have no idea, because it looks like
SFFG
the culture's
online.
not going anywhere. But I have to knock out this area and see what happens.
Where's our target?
What are you all shooting at?
Ready for immediate.
Because I have to hop back out here and macro you guys, but you see,
Get ready for active
what
duty.
I'm doing is microing macro balls.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Okay, so... Okay, well, this fortification,
for active duty.
shockingly enough, is still holding their ground. At least these guys worked out. What I could do is try to impose more star bases here, but in the end, I think I'd need more Artemises to hold back this line. I can't really do anything about any of
Get
this.
ready for active duty.
But we could try that. But then again, unfortunately, they broke through and took out my fucking phoenixes
Allied
again.
forces have entered UNSC
God, I
controlled
hate
space.
that shit. So I could further entrench on these planets, but I have no idea what the fuck
Get
is...
ready for active duty.
I have no idea if this plan is even going to work. So Mars, can you get me some phoenixes?
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled
So I can
space.
attempt star bases, but
Get ready for
additionally, the
active
star
duty.
bases aren't really terribly great if they're undefended. They can't really hold their own, too, which is a bigger fucking issue.
Show me those Seraphs. Nav point confirmed.
UNSC fortifications are actually shit aside from Mac cannons being able to output damage.
Stalwart
The tolerances
reporting
between winning and failing is
online.
way too small in this game for fortifications.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
In comparison to vanilla Sins of a Solar Empire, the TEC starbases can just sit there laughing at things.
SFFG
They all died.
Online.
Well, I knocked out the planet,
Together we stand a chance.
and the reinforcements are steaming
SFFG
forward,
moving
so
to position.
we just gotta deal with that.
Who needs an escort? SFFG online.
More preliminary research is required.
There isn't any more, so there's no preliminary of anything. We've hit the max fleet pop, and we're not getting any more ships.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Stalwarts are chewing on that Covenant starbase, and they'll get it eventually. The enemy has sent a fleet to try and stop us. But we have 2 fleets to contest them, so they've got their hands
Together
full.
we stand a chance.
Well, this fleet is engaging here and knocking out that starbase. We're going to
Allied
send this fleet
forces
around
have
and
entered
throw them
UNSC controlled
directly into
space.
these goddamn temples.
SFFG online.
And then maybe we'll get something done. Maybe.
Show me those Seraphs.
Well, the Chirons are also shelling the planet too. How about that? They don't have any capital ships, it looks like. Looks like we finally got them, we finally slowed their production enough that they don't have any to send at us.
SFFG online.
Alright, so leave that kill ball over there. They'll probably manage on their own. There's enough fucking guys there. Okay, do we have a... Right, so...
What's your clearance level? Oh, sorry, Commander.
Right, so send the Prowler over there to keep watch. They probably will be able to handle that. I don't think they've made any moves there, but gotta be sure. Also, where did these guys come from?
All
Aside from-
surface hostiles have been eliminated.
Okay, so
SFFG
Palamok has
online.
been glassed. That's good, that's good. Now we just need to get rid of the fortifications.
Stalwarts reporting in.
Then
Archer
maybe we can actually
online.
make a dent. If not, that's it for this Let's Play. We
Two
can't actually
more.
continue. We just be throwing ships at other ships.
SFFG online.
Will you embark upon a great journey?
The only thing we can do if this doesn't work out is attempt to stamp across the galaxy, but eventually the front will get split apart to the point where I can't actually cover every, piece of ground. And at that point, the enemy's just going to waltz back over.
SFFG online.
Waltz back over and take their shit back, undoing all of my progress.
Allied forces have entered UNSC
And then in
controlled
addition to that,
space.
I have to worry about
Together we
logistics as
stand a
well.
chance.
Where I can't actually maintain, I can't,
Spinning
the
engine
lines
force.
of moving, the time it takes to move reinforcements
Our
to the front
allied
is going to get
capital
so
ship has
long
been
that
neutralized.
we'll start to lose effectiveness just by the sheer fact that our reinforcements can't reach our ships.
Who needs an escort?
Also, why are you not
SFFG
shooting?
online. To war.
You better have been shooting at that guy the entire time. I'm going to go on that assumption.
SFFG online.
Fortifications
Active duty.
knocked out. Good.
Nav point confirmed.
However, it looks like our stalwarts are being eaten alive because they're not
Stalwarts
focusing on a fucking
reporting
target.
in.
Ah, you all need to be nannied like nobody's business, I swear.
Arch pods are hot.
Get ready for active duty.
Green light confirmed.
Allied forces have entered UNSC control
Yeah, we lost
space.
most of our units
Allied
because I
naval
had to
forces have
sit there and
engaged the
shoot at
enemy.
things.
Green light confirmed.
But I'm trying to manage several fronts at once.
Space jump complete.
Okay, good. Well, they're in there, and hopefully I can send those units out there, and they'll do
SFFG
their jobs.
online.
Insufficient titanium alloy.
We're low on titanium. Eh? Well, I'll buy some more, but wow,
online.
really. We managed to actually eclipse our titanium production. No matter, we have
SFFG
a tremendous amounts of
online.
dosh, really. So, that'd be fine.
SFFG online.
But I'm looking at these planets, and it's not moving. So, I'm gonna try and knock out the rest of these
SFFG
fortifications, but
online.
it don't look good.
To war.
It looks like we may just be stuck here forever.
SFFG online. Where's our target?
Ah, jeez.
To war. SFFG online. Show me those Seraph. SFFG online.
We don't have enough ships.
SFFG online.
This is an unfortunate circumstance, however, well,
Together we stand a chance.
there wasn't much I could do.
SFFG moving to position.
I'm having to split these forces up to attempt
UNSC
to
frigate
take these
reporting.
planets, but in the end, well, I guess I split them up a little bit too much. I think I need like 200 stalwarts. I'm sending them with about 130,
Allied
140,
forces
somewhere
have
around
entered
there, and then
UNSC
some more
controlled space.
Chirons, but they're not as good.
Together we stand a chance.
So these fleets are being whittled down under consistent assault, or rather, just for the sake of I'm trying to take out
Stalwarts
structures
reporting
too.
Ready for immediate assault.
Not be whittled down by fucking fighters and shit like that, actually taking out those structures, but... Well, I suppose I need to macro the fleets
Light
more.
confirmed.
Problem is, at this point, I'm wondering the worth of even attempting that, because the culture's not moving. 45 Chirons, that's enough.
More preliminary research is required.
We need more stalwarts. I mean, that's making a little bit of progress there.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Just a bit.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Well, we've taken this planet, at least. Fortunately, we've lost Arcadia's side, which... bad. Very bad.
Who needs an escort?
So it looks like I'm gonna have to reform my fleet here and send them up there.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Get your ass moving out there.
Keep a low profile.
We need to get units sitting there at least holding Arcadia so they don't fucking just waltz back and take it. I'll send this fleet when they're done forward to just kind of continue to harass the enemy.
Who needs an escort?
It looks like the enemy's in full retreat here, but there's a utility vessel.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
That's their fucking colonizer, and it's turning back to continue colonizing even as I speak. So that needs to be deleted.
Who needs an escort? SFFG online.
Okay, unfortunately, we've lost, well, essentially all of our stalwarts.
Coding operational. Gathering intel.
This Prowler needs to get the hell over here. I'm not sure what happened to the other one, but I need eyes.
All surface hostiles have been eliminated.
Knock them out fairly easily. Well,
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled
got rid of these
space.
guys, so as long as we clean up here, we should be fine. As for what's gonna happen now, I have no idea.
Who needs an escort? SFFG online.
I'm knocked out.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
And there's one trading post here, and then this gravity well is completely clean. I have to sit here and hold it, though, because I don't have
Allied
reinforcements
forces
in
have
range.
entered UNSC controlled
Looks like
space.
looks like my plan of rushing reinforcements up to Palamak is not gonna go well. Or rather, not gonna actually happen. They don't really have it doesn't look like they have a colonizer ship here, so at least there's that. It's still knocked
Allied
out.
forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
But you see this...
Get ready for active duty.
That's not making any headway. This line of culture has increased at this area, but it's not moving off, and that's not a colonizable
Allied naval
planet.
forces have engaged the enemy.
You see, it'd be
Get
one
ready
thing if
for
I could
active duty.
continue to spawn ships and then move a line of starbases like I have here. A defensive perimeter like here that could hold these planets even though I can't take them. The only problem is I don't have enough ship supply to do that. I need to continuously produce more stalwarts in order to beat the enemy back.
Class light frigate ready for orders.
That or I just don't make progress.
Stalwarts reporting in. Where's our target?
So, knocked out another planet.
Show me those Seraphs. Nav point confirmed.
Have the fleet regain some kind of cohesion.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Okay, so I'd like my prowler to get his ass over here so I can see what's going on here, but it looks like the enemy is still knocked off balance. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, Christ.
Get ready for active duty.
Yellow's culture is receding. Why? Are they losing culture? And my culture isn't loud enough to actually make any headway in any of these areas. And I have retooled as much of my gravity wells as possible to culture.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Oh boy, more armed
Inbound
resistance.
UNSC reinforcements. Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
SFFG online.
So, they're taking this gravity well, it seems, by culture, or either, no, it's being pushed back. Or either, I hope that's just slowly receding, but this is a glass
Our
planet,
Allied
you can't do
capital
anything
ship
to it.
has been neutralized.
It would be nice if the AI could throw all of its ships around and not constantly move them indecisively between gravity wells. Maybe that would help me hold a line a little better, but
Allied
at this point,
forces
I
have entered
don't think it's
UNSC controlled space.
possible for me to win. But
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
I'm away! Palamok still has not been completely wiped out.
Online.
That might be the linchpin. That might be the thing that actually breaks the stalemate here and allows me to capture planets, but
UNSC
It
forces have
doesn't look
engaged
good.
the enemy.
oh wait. It's going back now? It
SFFG
is?
online.
No? No, it's moving forward.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Okay, what's going on here? Two fleets?
Stalwarts reporting in.
Well, at least we're occupying most of the enemy's fleet here.
SFFG
Rather, they're
online.
reinforcements.
Ready for
I'd like to think that we're
immediate
running them completely out of resources while doing this, but also...
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
It looks... my income's not coming up as fast as it used to be, so...
SFFG online.
I think at a bare minimum, I will be able to continue just conducting this form of
Light
warfare.
frigate
It's just
ready
that,
for orders.
what'll it do at the end of the day?
Spinning engine course.
Slipspace jump complete. Our allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Okay, so they still haven't taken this planet. However, they've moved a battle cruiser out there.
Stalwarts reporting in.
Okay, so that's a... well, it's mostly fighters. It's a decent-sized fleet that I'm going to have to take care of. But
Who needs an escort?
let these guys get together and then send them out to hold Arcadia.
Show me those Seraphs.
And we'll see what the hell's going on.
Clearance level confirmed. How may we be of assistance?
You just sit your ass here and you turn off auto explore.
Allied forces have entered
That's
UNSC
why he keeps moving
controlled
around.
space.
Because he stepped to auto explore. The moment he stops, he just goes to.
Stalwart
He just
class,
finds
light
another.
frigate
You
ready
know,
for orders.
another. Just basically a moth to follow.
Ready for immediate assault. Green light confirmed.
No, you're not, Zeta. You're never here to help. I've tuned up the AI to cheat here, but I don't think you're actually going to do anything. Okay, so I think both of these fleets are... No, there's only one fleet, and the other reinforcement fleet is moving out of Thessaly.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
It's not a tremendous amount of space, but they'll get up there and they'll organize themselves at Arcadia while I'm busy throwing myself back at Palamok. It looks like this fleet's getting bigger.
Stalwarts reporting in.
Boys, you need to stop actually just sitting there getting shot by the fighters. I need you to do something.
Spinning engine course.
You think if I set them to engage the entire gravity well, they would actually do something, but okay, guys. Alright, reinforcements are being set here, which does mean that they're going to be caught off guard if I start sending other
Allied
units
naval forces
to
have
Palamok,
engaged the enemy.
which I am about to do. So it looks like they're sending most of their forces down here to attempt to retake Icaron, but now they're shorthanded, so my reinforcement fleet will immediately pop over and slap the shit out of them. So, victory is at hand. However, there's still the issue of what the fuck am I going to do because the culture isn't moving.
UNSC reinforcements.
Who needs an escort?
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Am I gonna have to
Allied
sit here and
forces have
nanny these
entered
guys? It's about-
UNSC
looks like the thing I need to
controlled
do
space.
right now in order to actually ensure some kind of win. Can't leave them alone.
Ready for immediate assault. Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
See, they go down very easily when you actually sit there and nanny the fleet. It's just that, unfortunately, you lose so much effectiveness not actually nannying the fleet that running multiple engagements is somewhat difficult. It gets to the point where you have to move around the map so much you can't really enjoy what the fuck is going on, which is something that I hate about RTS games moving fast. It gets so fast that you can't actually enjoy what the hell you're doing, and at which point, why am I playing video games for entertainment if I'm just working myself into...
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled
Well, working myself
space.
into the point where I can barely keep track of what the hell I'm doing. But okay, so... that gravity well is clean.
SFFG moving to position.
Send these forces over here. Reinforcements are coming up, and then we'll probably be sitting at Rodari while the
Stalwarts
other
reporting in.
fleet over here moves over there, which is a decent fleet of stalwarts. They'll be able to hold the southern line there.
Our Allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Oh, they sunk my battleship. Wow, you actually used a battleship. Amazing.
Stalwarts reporting
You actually
in.
engaged in determined combat. Wow.
Spinning engine course.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Looks like everybody else is moving on autopilot, so I have to sit here and click these guys.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
A constant stream of DPS. It's funny because now the rate of fire of these units is so high that the alpha damage has in fact become
Allied
DPS,
naval forces have
which is
engaged the
mathematically true. Alpha damage simply just becomes another form of DPS if the numbers go high enough.
Confirmed.
If you have enough things shooting really big shots, eventually at the end of the day it just becomes the exact same as a bunch of small things shooting really small shots.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Green light confirmed.
The problem is I have to nanny the death laser in order for it to do anything. Okay, so
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
this is ridiculous. I should be winning something with the amount of fucking bloodshed that I'm spilling on these goddamn gravity wells, but game says no.
SFFG moving to position. Green light confirmed.
That's not what that's not where I want the camera to be at all.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Hey guys, I kind of told you to shoot at that guy in particular, right? That guy instead of those guys over there.
Allied forces
These guys are
have
closer
entered
and shooting at you.
UNSC-controlled space. Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Alright, let's see. Okay, so they're engaging over there. They'll eventually get their shit together. There's enough units flying towards that fucking gravity well that they should be able to manage. We've got this area locked up.
Together we stand a chance.
Send
Nav
these units
point
in
confirmed.
there as well, and they'll fucking figure it out. There'll be enough ships.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders. Archer pods are hot. To war.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Green light confirmed.
If they're not even primarying correctly. Come on, guys. Kill!
To war.
Kill! He's already dead, but now we have to wait for the game to say he's dead. There he
Ready
goes.
for immediate assault.
I don't know why they're rushing into the eyeball. My guys have formed a ring here, and they're rushing their units directly into the center of this eye that I have formed. Which is quite possibly the worst thing you could do.
Archer pods are hot.
Like, not even in, like, game standards, but in, like, naval tactics. You are rushing directly into the enemy, like, rushing into a focal point of enemy fire.
War.
That's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Everyone can shoot you from every possible angle. I mean, like, you could attempt to say, oh, well, maybe we'll get them to shoot themselves, but not a great idea.
Green light confirmed.
Allied forces.
But
have
this game
entered
isn't that hard
UNSC-controlled
sci-fi, so
space.
and that's not gonna matter. This is a game where, where ships shoot numbers at each other. Pluses and minuses. Good.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Get rid of him. Alright, so what's going on the other fronts here? Is the engagement actually
Stalwarts
taking hold?
reporting in.
How's these reinforcements? They're ready to warp out. Good, good. What's going on in this gravity well? Ah, complete fucking mess is what's going on in this gravity well.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Show me those Seraphs.
Well, it's mostly fighters that are going to
Our
get mulched by the
allies'
stalwarts
colony
just
is
standing
under
there.
planetary
So at least
bombardment.
there's that, but there is in fact a capital
Ready
ship
for
here.
immediate assault.
Kill that. Okay, so this fleet has whittled down the enemy
Stalwarts
reinforcements,
reporting in.
which is good.
Spinning engine course.
They're letting the enemy get away.
Let's
Actually,
bring the
well,
fight to
he's
these
not
fighters.
getting away. This guy might
Ready
escape.
for immediate assault.
He might. Depending on how long the engagement range is, I think he's already escaped. Come on. Light the
Allied
boosters, get in
forces
there.
have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Okay. My capital ships are dying. I need more support. Maybe you should go back to to the Naval Academy and learn some tactics, like raw numbers and human wave tactics,
Who needs an escort?
which is what I'm conducting currently, and that seems to be working out
Ready for
perfectly fine for
immediate
me.
assault.
Okay, so
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
I'd like to select every stalwart in this area,
Stalwarts
please.
reporting in.
Who needs some lovin'?
That's not what I wanted to click.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Allied forces have
So
entered
now I was just told we were not going to have
UNSC-controlled space.
APC support from CAD. since
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
we may not make the session,
controlled
so we're
space.
boned. Well, Martin,
All
good luck with
surface
that.
hostiles have
And
been
also,
eliminated.
Titan, welcome back, sir. Thank you for resubscribing. That only works if they... Hmm.
UNSC frigate reporting in.
I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I'm gonna try
Inbound
and go for
UNSC
broke.
reinforcements.
I'm gonna fight the enemy to the last goddamn man and see what
Navigation.
happens.
Bring weapon systems online.
How am I doing today? I'm stuck in a quagmire. Aside from that, I'm okay.
UNSC forces have engaged the enemy.
After I'm done with the stream, I'll at least have, you know, streams to look over with cute anime girl VTubers. That's at least there. When I, you know, when the war and the bloodshed stops, at least there'll be cute girls.
Stalwarts reporting in.
These guys are moving over here. Though, honestly, I think I need
Allied
these
forces
reinforcements
have
at the
entered
front.
UNSC controlled space.
But... I'm not sure if I can actually manage this.
Your orders?
Hmm.
UNSC frigate reporting in.
Because now we're running into the
Inbound
problem of...
UNSC
Boy,
reinforcements.
that's a lot of ships. The enemies have rebuilt their
Brace
fleet,
for impact.
apparently.
We are engaging the enemy. Brace for
What
impact.
about the other
We are
war and
engaging the
bloodshed
enemy.
that could really need some tank support? Well, then I have to... I'm committed for role-playing there, so, that's another investment. I do have to worry about my day job. No other things as well. Haven't heard from Oofs, though, and apparently we were supposed to hang out today, or maybe I missed the date, I guess. I'm not sure.
Ready for immediate assault.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
Jack wants to do
controlled
NAM Liberation
space.
again at some point. At some point, huh? We'll see how the schedule comes together, so I gotta get through this and then get back on track, but that sounds like a good idea. I might be available for that, but apparently next week there's also going to be a Mech Warrior... There's fixing to be a Mech Warrior Living
Fleet
Legends
space
pack.
jump complete.
They're bringing in the Mars and the Behemoth tanks, which... 100-ton death machines, sign me up. But, it might be next week. They're not sure, though.
Show me those Seraphs. Stalwart class, light frigate ready.
Well, there's enough stalwarts here to just kind of throw at the formation. They're holding their numbers, at
Green
least.
light confirmed.
I have to keep clicking on these guys, but
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
I'm looking back over here and I don't see the lines moving. In fact, this line's moving back even more. I'm back the other direction. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna go to the
Allied
bathroom,
forces
though,
have
so
entered.
pause. Bathroom break. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get back to the stalemate. Okay.
UNSC controlled space.
Right, now I've slid over here, but, okay, so that's held.
Heathen, we will grind you into dust.
They've sent a couple of ships here, but we can't really move. Well, we could move forward a little bit now that we hold this area, but main focus is now here. This gravity
Where's our
well,
target?
where hopefully we can actually make a win.
Arthropods are hot.
We have enough ships to do this, but I have to sit here clicking on things. Paradox and Games Workshop have entered into a partnership. Also, Paradox may be selling the rights to Battletech to GW in return for GW to give Paradox unlimited rights to make games in Warhammer IP. Paradox Warhammer games.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
As part of this partnership, Battletech lore may be getting continued and expanded. There has not been made any official press release, but it is coming from leaked memos from both Paradox and GW. I mean, it'd be nice to have more Battletech games, but okay, so Paradox Warhammer games.
Allied naval forces.
This sounds
have engaged the
interesting.
enemy.
Green light confirmed.
So long as they don't go full grim derp. With what? Battletech or 40k in general? Because 40k is already kind of grim derp, and I don't think, whatchamacallit, what is it? I can't remember because I've deleted it out of my memory.
UNSC controlled space.
The Battletech era that we don't actually talk about because nothing happens after the Jihad. The Blakist killed everyone at the end of the Jihad, the end. I don't even want to remember it, and that was actually pretty edgy as far as I actually read into it. Dark Age. Oh, right! No, we don't talk about the Dark
Our
Age.
allied capital
No.
ship has been
No,
activated.
that doesn't exist. So, if they're gonna actually continue and expand Battletech lore, yeah, they're gonna have to recover the Dark Age.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
I'd like to see them try, but then it's kind of just... I hope the best thing they do is just retcon the Dark Age. Because I don't like it. It's the... I haven't read anything about it in a long time, but every time I looked at there and I looked at it and saw explanations of the Dark Age is, you know, where the Dark Age was, you know, going in terms of a story, and then also the new mech designs, I just hated
Allied
everything.
forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
They made it hard reset the universe right after the Clan Wars. We'll have the FedCom Civil War. That was fine. Jihad, maybe, I don't know, change how the Jihad went a little bit, but,
Let's bring the fight to
you know, the Jihad and FedCom Civil War are fine.
Heathen,
It was the Matt Ward era of Battletech. That's the interpretation I got, even though I can't really remember anything about it now. Again, because I memory hold it. Just gone. As soon as I saw their Atlas design, I just went, no, no, and I wanted no part of it.
ready for immediate assault. To war.
I mean, I would like it to be set during the FedCom Civil War and go from there, but that's just me. I mean, I suppose, yeah, but yeah, I roost in the FedCom, thanks to the MechWarrior games, I roost in the FedCom Civil War, and also by extension, the Clan Wars back there. Roundabouts. So, yeah, since I played mostly MechWarrior 4, the FedCom Civil War is a very comfy place for me. The expansion packs
Allied
for
forces
MechWarrior
have
4 and
entered
the MechWarrior 4
UNSC
base game
controlled space.
are really nice, even if they are, well, aside from Black Knight, blatant Davian propaganda. So, well, Black Knight kind of balances that, but nobody really
Allied
liked
naval
the way
forces have
Black
engaged
Knight's
the
story
enemy.
went because they chose the edgy route, which is commendable for choosing the, you know, not the Boy Scout ending, but in the end, nobody really liked the ending, and also, what also sank it a little bit for me is they didn't have most of the voice actors returning, reprising their roles. So,
Arthropods are hot.
because the Jihad was kind of retarded and made no goddamn sense. I only saw really the cliff notes of the Jihad, so I didn't really
Allied
look into it,
forces
but
have entered UNSC controlled
as
space.
far as I understood it, it's just space AT&T has a schism and then once nukes start flying. That's what I got.
To war.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
They somehow take out the entire HPG system with one nuclear strike. Is that what happened for the Dark Age? Boy, that's even stupider than I remember. Post-Dark Age, like the Dune universe. It'd be nice. You see, that's funny. Now that you bring that up, post-Dark Age, they could just kind of say everything kind of just went quiet, and then it's kind of like sort of soft resetting the timeline, like coming out of the Dark Age, like treating the Dark Age as like the Succession Wars, right? Get me? Where it's kind of just time repeating itself, right? Where you just have, you know, the scarcity of technology before, like the Helm's memory core and stuff like that, where we just forgot everything again. Or rather, forgot different things. Unfortunately, I will never get my Star League game. I want my fucking Star League game. I want my Mars Insurrection game. That would be fucking cash as hell. The story writes itself, really.
Have entered UNSC-controlled space.
It's like MechWarrior 4, you know, it's like Vengeance, but you're moving around planets. You just follow Papa Kerensky as he stamps out resistance across the galaxy. It would be so fucking cash.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Okay, so that's fine, that's fine. This is kind of sketchy, but we're holding. This culture seems to be moving forward, though. There might be hope.
Together we stand a chance.
Oh boy.
Mobilizing.
Green reinforcements. My actually, no, I hate it.
Nav point confirmed.
You know what I want? Another Command and Conquer game with Kane. I think that, unfortunately, is done now. I think we're about done with Joe Kukin on screen, which is a really sad thing. Tiberium Twilight was incredibly mediocre. I didn't even feel like playing through it. But I watched the send-off and... fucking EA. But I think Joe Kukin's probably done playing Kane, even though the man is fucking ageless. I don't think there's a way to recover a Command and Conquer storyline with Kane in it at all, unless you do.
Where's our target?
Unless you pull Kane clone things, like it's Cabal walking around in a Kane clone body or something like that, right? Something wacky like that, maybe.
Moving to position.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space. Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
I think we're going to need reinforcements, so I'm going to have to shift these units up here. Also, we probably should be building more units as I'm starting to see the supply, like the number of, you know, awaiting supply that we can build into. So we should probably start building units in mass here. A lot of units.
More preliminary research is required.
Yes, please, continue producing things. It looks like the culture is moving forward. Yes. Honestly, at this point, I don't care if Yellow takes it. I just want it to fucking move. Unfortunately, the thing about Yellow taking it is that he won't spec specifically for culture. I don't think the AI will conceive of this properly. It looks like the enemy fleet is retreating, but we've got reinforcements coming in, so we don't have to care as much. But you know what? Fine. Fuck 'em. Yeah,
online.
Well, the fighters are coming back and forth, but I think we could probably just continue to picket units. I wanted them to move them over here to take out those damn temples.
Archer pods are hot.
Seems like that's the only way we're gonna make headway, but I'll have the reinforcement fleet coming in and take out the damn temples.
online.
Inbound UNSC.
So this is not a culture spot. I'll move this fleet up.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Would like personally like to have a game like the Tiberian concept. That was an FPS RPG RTS hybrid from back in the mid 2000s. Oh, you mean Renegade?
Needs an escort. Nav point confirmed.
FPS RTS was a weird meme genre that I kind of miss.
Together we stand a chance. SFFG online.
Yeah, this fleet's doomed. However, they will cause more casualties,
Stalwart class, light frigate.
which
ready
in the
for
end is good enough.
Will you embark upon the great journey?
No. No, I will not. I will continue trying to stamp out your resistance across the stars, however I can. No, the game was just called Tiberium and never got out of concept stage. I thought that was just a pure FPS. Because I remember Tiberium, I know that word. I know EA shit-canned that, but I thought it was just a pure FPS, and not an FPS RTS. I thought that was just solely Renegade's deal.
Stalwart class,
Which, from
light
what I
frigate
remember,
ready for
Renegade was kind of a confident game. It wasn't, setting the world on fire, but it was apparently an okay game. I never got a chance to actually sit and
Allied
play it.
forces have entered UNSC control.
But I played the Resurrection mod for it for a while, and that was interesting.
Nav point confirmed.
Though I did have, I did also have a,
SFG
now that I remember, a span of time where I played the Red Alert inspired sort of spin-off mod that someone came up with for, it released as a standalone, but it was basically just Renegade, but playing Red Alert's universe instead of Tiberium.
Green light confirmed. SFFG online.
So I had a span of time playing that, and it was actually kind of fun. But, like I said, FPS RTS is a really weird meme genre that
Slip space jump.
kind of just disappeared. Mainly because, well, I suppose it didn't really get anywhere. The RTS genre has been slowly dying to the point where it doesn't really exist anymore in terms of, like,
Allied forces
yo,
have entered UNSC
headlining
controlled
power.
space.
The FPS genre is starting to dwindle a little. Well, actually, mostly has dwindled. Battle Royale has the day here, but that's starting to slowly recede. What'll happen next, nobody really knows. I'm not sure anyone's really actually working. I don't think anything's made any new headway for being the new, like, trend game. It seems like, well, the Call of Duty is still doing what it's doing, but I see, like, we have games like Valorant, like, trying to bring back the team shooter idea, and that's kind of contesting with the death throes of like Battle Royale. But then you also have Battle Royale games like Fall Guys, which isn't Battle Royale at all. So
To war.
have we made progress to stamping out the culture? Marginally. This line is moving backwards, and if I can take out these structures, I might be able to make solid headway. Okay, so how big is this fleet here? Not big enough, but we'll send them forward. We're holding the line here, at least.
Stalwarts reporting in. Ready for immediate
Yeah,
assault.
alright, fine. I'll fight you man to man.
Online.
Since the fleet's now organized here, we can at least focus fire on them and get rid of the larger capital ships.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Click that carrier!
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Also, now that I recall as well, there were actually a handful of source mods that I tried that were actually RTS FPS games. Which, again,
SFG online.
it's kind of funny. It was there, and that genre just kind of disappeared. There was really only, like, esoteric indie support for it, and then it just disappeared.
Neutralized.
I kind of miss it now that I think about it, even though those games were kind of frustrating, because, well, they were mostly just mods at the end of the day, or really kind of janky independent games.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
This fleet is getting gutted, unfortunately. Jesus fucking Christ, they can't even take out this carrier. Alright, I guess I'm sending even more reinforcements into this fucking mess.
Mobilizing. Where's our target?
This is a problem. This is a huge fucking problem, because now I can't make any headway here. I'm gonna have to fight their fleet. I'm trying to get those fucking temples, but I guess at this point, if I can't actually secure the gravity well, it don't matter.
Ready for immediate assault.
We're taking some serious losses here, so I guess I just have to concentrate on now stamping out this massive fleet.
Who needs an escort? Show me those seraphs.
Get those units up there as fast as possible. We're getting Well, more room, so continue producing more units.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space. Our allies' colony is under planetary bombardment.
Great, I'm out of metal again.
SFFG online.
More preliminary research is required.
Alright, so unfortunately, they've actually soundly defeated me in that engagement. That's unfortunate. I figured again that my fleet would be large enough to actually do this, but now the game is kind of insultingly asking me to micro this. Well, it feeds me a situation that I'm not even sure I can actually overcome. So this is the point where it's like, the game's kind of just, really just annoying the shit out of me now with this, where it's like, hey, you're at kind of the, at the last straw here with actually being able to do anything, but we're gonna make you work really hard for it to see if it's even viable. That, this plan might work, and it's seeming like it's taunting me. It might be able to work. If we can push forward and take Sethos and, get some shit on that, we might be able to actually, continue advancing down the line and maybe someday crack Pink's fortifications. But at the end of the day, this is requiring so much more effort for just one single line of planets, really.
Frigate ready for active duty.
And these planets are just vacant. But, as we see here, he's taken back Sethos. Because I have to devote all of my units forward. I hadn't actually realized it. And then I realized, oh wait, the eyeball above his head means he's actually taken the planet.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
So at this point, I think I have to default the game's, the mod's balance here for basically creating a situation I can't win.
Mobilizing.
And honestly, not through any fault of my own. It's just that things did not come together. The UNSC AI, because remember, it was... There were... I think it was 5 Covenant and 5 UNSC teams, including me.
UNSC-controlled space.
And the UNSC completely crumbled. Because the AI does not know how to play UNSC. And I didn't know that until it was far too late. So, I could win this engagement, but I don't know what's going to happen now. Because now I have to back up and start the process again. Which is what I didn't want to happen. The only problem is, since the enemy decided to stiffen up resources here, it's the only thing I can do.
SFFG online.
So at this point, I'm actually just...
Show me those Sarahs.
This doesn't seem winnable.
To war.
I could sit here, but even if I win these engagements, it doesn't seem like it's actually... Like, I'll just sit here playing the same engagement. This will probably become a forever war situation in this gravity well, by the looks of things. Hopefully I'll be able to knock out, the enemy fleet here, but it's looking like this is going to be a point where my units are going to filter into this gravity well, continuously be destroyed, right as reinforcements arrive, and the enemy fleet is doing the same thing.
To war. SFFG online.
I'm going to take out some of these structures before we actually try and engage the enemy fleet, but at least the stalwarts are really good at nailing AA, so those units aren't going to be doing much damage.
Green light confirmed.
So actually, I think the best idea for me right now would be to actually stall the engagement.
Keep a low profile.
Just kind of come over here and wait for reinforcements to arrive. They're coming, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get here. The only planet that I can actually task production to is all the way back over there.
SFFG online. Show me those Seraphs.
Allied forces have
It'd be nice if their fighters
UNSC
didn't keep
controlled
respawning.
space.
That'd be nice. I'm
Keep
killing
low
them
profile.
really easily, but it'd be nice if I just didn't have to deal with
Allied
them.
forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Also, click that
Flip
fucking
space
ship. He's
jump
right
complete.
there.
Our allies' colony is under planetary bombardment.
Ready for immediate assault. SFFG online.
I guess what I'm going to have to do here is just catch the enemy formations as they continue streaming at me.
Archer pods are hot.
So just kind of wait until the ships come in one by one and then focus them as they come into range.
SFFG online.
Like this
Together
guy.
we stand a chance.
But we're already
War.
fighting this guy, so hang on. Come on, guys. Speed up a bit. I've never seen the AI do that at all. I don't know, but this is the situation that I've gotten myself into. The UNSC AI was completely incapable of actually defending itself, and now all of their worlds have fallen, and the enemy has considerably more territory than me.
Have entered UNSC
Which they have chosen,
space.
because of factual bonuses and programmed AI biases, to build shitloads of culture-producing facilities, which I am struggling to take out and overmatch, and it's going back. Oh, sweet mother of Christ.
Will you embark upon the great journey?
Keep a low profile.
So I'm gonna knock out this fucking planet. I will win this battle here, but this may be the last battle of the war.
Mobilize.
I'll throw everything that I can at this, and I will attempt to normalize after it's all done, but this may be the last fight here.
Who needs an
I will throw as many
escort?
ships as humanly possible into this, as many as it takes. But at the end of the day, I think we're done.
Mobilizing.
I think I'm gonna have to throw some reinforcements over here to maybe knock out that and maybe have a chance. But at this rate, the culture is just too fucking strong to get over, and I really dislike this.
Coordinates received.
Because, this is just a game mechanic saying, no, you can't do anything. Even though, logically speaking, the game mechanic has no sense
Allied
about
forces
it.
have entered UNSC-controlled space.
What is actually stopping me, other than the game artificially saying, no, you can't do that? Rationally speaking, culture holding gravity wells doesn't make any sense. Because nobody's there. They're dead. What cultural resistance is stopping me from physically moving colony pods from the ship to shore? Nothing. It's not stopping physics.
Brace for impact. We are engaging the enemy.
Is it stopping my units from doing their job in orbit? Do I have to turn up the Emperor's daily blessing to get them to actually continue to do their jobs? What?
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Mat cannon is hot.
This Covenant fleet is very large, and I don't like that. But we've got reinforcements coming, so as long as we can actually concentrate fire and take out some of these fucking capital ships, we might be able to hold out.
SFFG online.
Where are my reinforcements? They gotta be getting close, right? No. Well, they're there.
Together we stand a
They'll
chance.
get here eventually.
Allied forces have
Whether or
entered
not there'll be
UNSC
units to
controlled
reinforce
space.
by that time, I have no fucking idea.
Together we stand a chance.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
I will probably take out this cruiser, or carrier, though. Right, we're in armor. There he goes.
Ready for immediate.
Alright, good. That's their big blap ship taken out. Now we've just got to point the laser pointer at the smaller ships until they explode.
Let's bring the fight to these fighters. SFFG online.
But again, Titan, it's also not a loss. It's a draw. Because I can continue doing this all day, forever, against the AI, which means I will not be knocked out by the AI. In fact, I could reel back and do this more effectively just defending the territory that I actually own. So I could sit here all day. The enemy can't kill me, but there's no point in going on here because I can't also kill the enemy. Unless we're gonna open diplomatic channels and start fucking trading, there's nothing to do. This is also one of the flaws in this game, I suppose. Peace is almost never an option. In the end, the only way that the game decisively ends is
SFFG online.
someone kills everyone. Now, it's not entirely true, however, the AI is also really not really, like, this AI in particular is not really open to negotiation. We tried, it didn't work. So, in the end, it's not a loss, it's a draw. Factually speaking. So it's not like I'm losing, it's just that I can't do anything, but they can't do anything to me either. I can spam stalwarts all goddamn day long and win fights. Keep my territory alive. Keep running fire brigades between, you know, emplacements of star bases and whatnot, but in the end, there's no point to doing that because I'm not really preserving anything. I'm preserving my territory, but I'm not building anything new. Get me? I'm just preserving a state of constant war that's also static. So it's not like I can enter a new golden age or something, or do anything else. Aside from continue to throw units at these fights that don't go anywhere.
Allied naval forces have engaged.
I say
the
lost
enemy.
because once your friendly dies, all the Covenant will diverge attention to you. I don't think he'll die, though, because I turned him up to the highest difficulty you can actually get the AI to. So he's actually over there cheating.
Nav point confirmed.
So I don't think my friend over there will actually falter. In fact, he looks like he's making some kind of progress a bit, but this wedge is a little concerning.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
But then again, is that a glassed planet? Yes, that is a glassed planet. I'm not sure which planets were glassed and which were not. I'm not sure if the Covenant can actually make new glass planets. If they can, that's kind of worrying, and I have no response to that.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
But at this rate, honestly, it seems like the enemy AI, or rather my ally AI, is doing fine in terms of perpetually holding the enemy off.
Slip space jump complete.
And
Allied forces.
that's
have
it,
entered
really. We
UNSC
can stand here for,
controlled
I can hit the fast forward button and go forward eons to maybe see if anything happens. But at this rate, effectively, for the amount of time this game is worth playing, it is a draw.
Green light confirmed.
I can't really auto-resolve all of the conflicts just to see exactly where the numbers wind up going, because slight deviations in, you know, in resource income and expenditure
Keep a low profile.
may screw me over eventually, but we're talking like, hey, you want to play this game for an entire year to see that happen, because that's how long it'll take. I could potentially sit here for 20 hours a day, or, you know, if I didn't need to sleep continuously for days, and I would probably still not lose.
Allied
I
forces
probably
have
would be
entered
able to continue
UNSC
scraping
controlled
by
space.
in this continuous stalemate.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
But unfortunately,
controlled space.
that doesn't really do anything in this game. You could do that in a game of Civilization, and then, you know, make up stories about a forever nuclear war that never ends. But I don't know. With this game, the technology level doesn't increase. There isn't, you know, in Civ, the technology level is also, by that point, maxed out as well. But I don't know, there's just some grandeur about it. Also, there'd probably be more movement in Civ. There are more options to kind of maybe sort of get some things done. Maybe actually make some headway. Here, I am literally just stuck.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
I'm whittling their forces down at least, but good lord, I'm
Allied
needing way
forces
more
have
of my
entered
reinforcements.
UNSC-controlled space.
Way more than my reinforcements than I thought I was going to.
Spinning engine course.
I think now we have enough to crack the enemy fortification, or rather, crack the enemy fleet and then move on. Have to keep fighting though to see.
Shoot war.
Super carrier is almost dead, or rather, assault carrier.
Let's
They're all carriers to me, it seems like. Some of them are battle cruisers, but honestly, I don't think the distinction really matters. Yeah, sure, it matters probably in gameplay, but at this point, I just see the big Covenant carrier and the small Covenant ship. Rather, just Covenant ship, really. They all look like, they're all basically the same fucking design with slight modifications. At least the UNSC ships look different.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Because you haven't been receiving banter from him about losing ships or that he needs help. He's been, yelling at me that I lost my ships and, but he hasn't lost any planets or done anything new. Which leads me to believe that he's still operating, and the cheating level of the AI, like the level of AI cheating under the table is enough to keep him perpetually alive, at least effectively, for a long-ass time. As much time as it would be worth playing this game ever.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Like, even to the point of, like, the amount of days out of your total life that you would like to spend playing this game effectively alive
Allied
forever.
forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
So at this point, we have reached the point where everything is just solidified, and now it's just... Now the hundreds of men that I'm sending to their deaths in these stalwarts don't matter anymore. Because they're a necessity. They simply go right. They simply go out of obligation because this is the war. And the war is constant and unending. But again, there's no evolution from that either. There's no
Insufficient titanium alloy.
there's nothing worth from me from playing this for my entertainment or for the entertainment of others as well. There's nothing here. It just stagnates and we'll be sitting
Allied
here
forces have entered UNSC
for months if we continue
space.
playing this. And in the end, it'll probably kill my career if I actually try to do that. Maybe I'll get some credit points at the end if I continue for like over a year or something like that. Maybe gets just to the sheer the sheer headlining ability of one man plays somewhat broken mod for years on end. Maybe, but we could do other things.
SFFG online. Ready for immediate
Guys, you need to kill
assault.
the fleet. Need to kill the fleet because I don't want to actually spend more fucking stalwarts. Also, my income seems to have stopped. Why is my income dead? Like, my income is no longer actually increasing. What's going on here?
Pods are hot.
My oversupply of credits is slowing down. Damn Mars colonists refusing to pay taxes. Yes, they say that they're overworked. Overworked.
SFG online.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled
They say they
space.
want rights and unions. Ungrateful.
Arc pods are hot.
They say they're annoyed at me sending their firstborn child to die in the war repeatedly forever, but that's the necessity. They wouldn't have their homes
Allied
without this
forces
war
have
effort.
entered UNSC controlled space.
Stalwarts reporting in. Spinning engine
He
core.
built more temples. He built more
SFFG
fucking temples in the
online.
gravity well.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders. Mobilizing. Nav point confirmed.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Ready for immediate.
Guess what? The mod creators are working to add in the Forerunners, because why the fuck not? That sounds incredibly esoteric. But I suppose a third faction in here would be somewhat par for the course, because, well, Sins of a Solar Empire has 3 distinct factions. But that sounds
SFG
silly.
online. Ready for immediate assault. Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Get the tiny ones, they're easy to kill.
SFG online.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
SFFG online.
Enemy appears to be cutting and running.
Arc pods are hot.
Finally, after losing so many goddamn men. Okay, so my reinforcements have hit this other gravity
SFFG
well.
online.
Also, how many ships do we have
Stalwart
here
class,
instead?
light
We need
frigate
these up
ready
at the
for
front.
orders. SFFG moving to position.
There's your marching orders, get up
Keep
there.
low profile.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
This fleet's large enough to continue
Show me
causing
those
problems
arrows.
over here. But you see, this is what the AI does. They get a gravity well and they say, oh, temple, 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 temple. And this is why we can't move.
SFFG online.
What's your clearance level? Oh, sorry, Commander.
Show me those serifs. SFFG online.
Well, the remnants of the enemy fleet are running.
Advent of coding operational.
So I don't think I have any Chirons left, so I can't shell the planet. So we're gonna have to wait for
Ready for
reinforcements to
immediate
actually
assault.
kill the planet. But reinforcements are on their way, and it doesn't look like the enemy has
Allied
any
naval
more
forces have
ships of
engaged the enemy.
any serious number to
Allied
throw at us
forces have entered
currently.
UNSC-controlled space.
Oh, great, they built a starbase. Great, fantastic. So we're gonna have to wait for reinforcements to continue fighting the enemy here, but we've finally actually exhausted the enemy fleet.
SFFG online. Keep a low profile.
Reinforcements will get up here before they can fully re-entrench, so there's at least that.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders. SFFG online.
Without a trace.
Be real nice if I could actually do something. Like, other than sit on my hands here, but my ships are
Archer pods
very,
hot.
very slowly rounding the corner. At least they're not taking too many losses from being, from fighters being thrown at them, because they have so much AA.
Slipspace jump complete. Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Green light confirmed. SFFG online. Who needs an escort? Green light confirmed.
Good, you stopped running, finally.
SFFG online. Stalwart reporting in. Ready for immediate assault.
Right, where are my reinforcements now?
SFFG online.
They're moving slowly. What are these guys doing? Unfortunately, we
Allied forces have
may
entered
actually bottom out the
UNSC-controlled
gravity well
space.
over there in terms of what our forces can do. So we may actually lose the fleet and not actually have taken the gravity well, but there's more reinforcements coming their way.
SFFG online.
The next
Together
fleet
we
will
stand a
most
chance.
likely be the end of this if this fleet doesn't survive. I'd like to get through your shield someday, sir.
SFFG online.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Good.
Green
Yeah.
light confirmed.
Continue fighting.
SFFG online. Stalwart
Well,
reporting
you've
in.
arrived. Shoot him up.
Will you embark upon the great journey?
No, I'm busy trying to kill your friends. In the slowest war imaginable.
SFFG online. Together we stand a chance.
Well, the enemy fleet has just turned tail and run, so I'm going to attempt to
Spinning engine
move these guys
course.
over here to take out these temples. The enemy fleet is just completely routed. They're
SFFG
getting reinforcements,
online.
though, which is rather fucking annoying, but I've got reinforcements coming, too.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Stalwart
And hey,
reporting in.
look! Actually, no,
Allied
that's a completely
forces
different
have
guy.
entered UNSC
That's a completely different
space.
guy. That's a different entire person. Can I kill him, though? I don't think I'm at... well, actually, no, I'm at war with
Ready for
literally all
active
of them.
duty.
What am I saying?
Green light confirmed.
Allied naval forces have engaged
Nope.
the enemy.
He's engaged me. What? He's considered hostile now. You will be deleted. Yeah, I'm basically just at war with everyone that isn't me and the other guy, the other UNSC player that's left.
Nav point confirmed. To war.
Focus fire and delete the boat. Oh, great. He's sending reinforcements. Great, great. Now Yellow's moving his shit over here.
Who needs an escort?
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space. Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
Any day now, boys.
Who
They've probably also retaken Icaron, which is annoying, but there's nothing I can do. I need to actually punch through because I have to take out more temples. The problem here is that the temples that I took out are not enough. Is he dead? I can't click on him. He appears dead. All right.
Green light confirmed.
Glass the planet. Let's get moving. Yep, nope, they built another reinforcement fleet. So this fleet's going to get completely obliterated.
Green light confirmed.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
Well, at this point, actually, I'm starting to run into problems because my income isn't recovering at this point. So, the capital ships might be nice. The only problem is that, well, they're not going to survive very long to be worthwhile. I could add some more alpha damage, but at this point, just spamming stalwarts is just good enough.
Together, we stand a chance.
I just need the forces of stalwarts to come back together. So I'm sending in forces that are like less than 200 stalwarts, and that's seeming to cause issue. Meanwhile, the kill ball of 200 plus was actually unstoppable for a while. However, that was literally all of my ships, so I couldn't do anything aside from attack a single target.
Heathen, we will grind you into dust.
At this point, I don't think I actually have capital. Do I even have capital ship production capability at anything? I think I had to abandon that, too. I don't think I do anymore.
UNSC forces have engaged the enemy.
I might have actually removed... Yeah, there might be no possibility for me to actually develop capital ships. I may have just straight up abandoned them. Which I think I did.
All surface hostiles have been eliminated.
Nope.
Allied forces
I cannot
have entered
actually
UNSC
produce
controlled
capital
space.
ships.
Stalwarts reporting in.
Alright, good. This area's knocked out, so we can keep moving. Yep. Well, there's only the Prowler now. They've unfortunately reinforced the point. Again. Right. There's significantly less shit there, though, so we could probably make a dent now. We just have to get back over there. But like I said, I tried to move the line forward, and I reached the point where I had determined enemy resistance, and I lost all of my ships, and while I was busy trying to get my forces back up there, they came back over, recapped the planets that I can't fucking keep them from capping, and caused me more dismay and horror. It's not even like I can terminate their production of ships either. I can just keep them busy.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
But granted, I could...
Let's not keep our passengers waiting.
I could throw my Phoenixes over there and see if that's going to work, because I could just start throwing starbases at them, but my problem is now, I don't think I'd have for some reason my money's not working out.
Controlled space.
For some reason my money isn't recovering as well as it was before. When I started, I had like 500,000 credits here, or abouts. Now the money is seemingly dwindling, and the only thing I'm really taking, the only thing that's really going downhill is, well, upkeep for the fleet, but I need those ships.
Allied forces have entered UNSC.
It's not like I can just say, oh, well, I can replace some of the raw numbers of, of ships with, capital ships. They're not worth the time and effort, and they cost more.
Coordinates received.
So I'm going to move this fleet up here. We're going to fight the enemy here, because they've probably rebuilt shit there, too. Ah, well, they've actually engaged the fortification line, which is still holding.
Slip space jump complete.
Because at least these guys, with
Allied forces
their
have entered UNSC
essentially full
controlled
entrenchment,
space.
work out. This works out. This is the only capital ships in my navy that are actually doing their jobs, which their jobs are to be mech platforms. I would build platforms if I could actually own this gravity well, but I can't. But those work out as a turret, and they're basically infinitely repairing thanks to the cradles. So that works out. The only problem is that takes so much, I can't just project that to other gravity wells. I'd love to bring it somewhere else, but the only problem is I can't.
Allied forces have entered UNSC-controlled space.
This is becoming frustratingly slow. I really want to skip the fast forward button because now it's basically just moving my units to the enemy.
Needs an escort.
The only thing slowing me down is actually the travel time between gravity wells, which I can't do anything about. So, this has become really petty, honestly. Like the only thing I want to do now is take the planet to go, ha, fuckers, and that's it, because there's nothing left to do. But it's very likely I can be stuck here for ever, really, effectively. Oh, right. Shit, I forgot it actually is a
Allied
game
forces
speed.
have
There is
entered
actually is a speed
UNSC-controlled
increase.
Space.
Nah, fuck it. We're going to hyperspeed, which is going to gut
UNSC
the
forces
frames,
have
but
engaged the enemy.
I actually didn't realize this, because I never used this. I actually play Sins mostly actually at normal speed. I forgot it actually has that. I thought that was a unit switch. Phonto doesn't read the toolbars. So, okay, yes, they're fine. Now we're just going to play a numbers game, where we just send stalwarts in mass numbers to die horribly.
Allied forces
My problem
have
is,
entered UNSC
this makes the frame
controlled
rate
space.
incredibly unstable.
Allied forces have entered UNSC
Good
controlled
God.
space. Inbound UNSC reinforcements. Insufficient titanium alloy. Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Stalwarts reporting in.
I could just play it like this. Now that the frame rate's going to go to shit.
SFFG
The frame rate is going to
online.
go to absolute shit like this. So now I probably can pipe these units into these gravity wells and just watch what happens.
SFFG
I don't want to go down there
online.
because the game will probably fucking
Inbound
have a
UNSC
conniption trying to
reinforcements.
render everything.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
I don't see a lot of action out there.
Keep a low profile.
Y'all better be fucking shooting at something out there.
Our allies' colony is under
Good.
planetary bombardment.
I think.
Will you embark upon a great journey?
Now I gotta go in there and see what the fuck's going on. Are you guys actually doing anything, or are you just sitting around like a bunch of yokels? Yep, they're sitting around like a bunch of yokels. Can I just turn your behavior to fucking kill everything?
Let's bring the fight to these fighters.
Can I just have you kill everything? Would that be so hard?
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
8x speed, or literally a sideshow.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Frigate ready for active duty.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space. Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Get on with it, boys. I need you at the front.
SFFG online.
Jesus Christ. I actually have to slow the game down because it cannot fucking actually handle moving at that speed.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Even though I need that speed, the only problem is it actually gets even slower moving at 8x speed, which is... This game doesn't want me to have fun, does it?
Where's our target?
Good fucking God.
War.
I think the slow
Allied
speed
forces
actually makes it...
entered
I mean, you know, the
UNSC
fast...
controlled
faster speed makes it even slower thanks to the loading time. It's not my computer at this point, it's just the game can't handle this level of shit going on.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Stalwart class, light
If you were to do
frigate
this
ready
again,
for
what would
orders.
you... What would you...
Frigate ready for active
Well,
duty.
what will you learn from this run? What would you do differently? What I would do differently is play Covenant. Have it just be a free-for-all for Covenant. Because then I might be able to actually have allies.
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Allies that actually fight. And then maybe potentially negotiate with enemies. Because I feel like the game will run just totally fine by playing
Allied
just the
forces have
Covenant.
entered UNSC controlled
Or
space.
maybe what I'd do is, since Titan you were nice enough to tell me, actually use the Forge mode to, the finagle me playing as the Forerunners while everyone plays Covenant. Because then I might actually be able to get something done. Because apparently, according to Titan, you can't actually play as the Forerunners right now, but they only have like 3 ships. So, yeah, that's basically what I would do. I would not play UNSC again, which pains me because I like the UNSC aesthetics. I like playing the humans here. The problem is, I can't rely on anything. That I can't rely on the game to actually help. Maybe I'd try some of the other admirals to maybe give me a better fighting edge, but I'm not sure that the humans really have that edge.
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Maybe Admiral Cole is slightly better, I guess, in terms of direct fire. I don't know. Oh my god. Can I just zoom all the way out?
Inbound UNSC reinforcements.
Can I zoom all the way out and just watch this happen? I don't think I can, though. Ugh. Oh my god, the frames!
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Maybe I could force the game to crash like
Allied
this, so I can say I'm
UNSC
done.
Controlled space.
Maybe I can destroy the universe by trying to crash the program. Because now I'm entering the
Inbound UNSC.
I suppose I'm already at the point where I just don't care anymore, because I know this is actually pointless. I'm seeing the wall recede to my ability to do anything. I think what I've gotten to is the point where I found myself a little corner where the game stops working. More or less. I've managed to find myself into basically a shortcoming.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders.
Whereas now I can't really do much. And the enemies now restock their fleet.
Forces have entered UNSC
and now we're just going to start this whole thing all over again.
Together we stand a chance. SFFG moving to position.
And I have to sit here monotonously micro all of these units here now. Well, macro, yes, but just sit here and micro all their fire.
Keep a low profile.
Our allied capital ship has been neutralized.
Because I can't trust the AI to do anything.
To war.
So this is becoming not really all that fun to play because it's requiring me to do all these mundane tasks because I can't let the game play itself. I can't really automate an engagement like this.
Our allies' colony is under planetary bombardment.
Right. Also, maybe try to get someone in here to play with me as the UNSC against Covenant AI. That would actually probably be something worth doing. But not playing the game like this again, because it don't go nowhere.
Our capital ship has been neutralized.
Okay, I have to hope to God that they'll hold out while they do that. Right. Also, it's really annoying that the enemy has an over-reliance on fighter craft and not actual ships.
Show me those Seraphs. Mobilizing. Let's bring the fight to these fights.
These units are taking losses because they're not doing really anything productive. It also seems like the AI, the alpha damage advantage of the UNSC is designed that you need to actually direct them all towards one target. So you need to be sitting here, telling them to shoot at something. Which slows down progress even more to the point where I don't even really feel like playing this anymore. Because now we've reached the point where it has just become rinse and repeat warfare, and that's it.
Stalwart class, light frigate ready for orders. Ready for immediate assault.
I won't win like this. I'll win engagements, but I can't actually make any more headway.
Allied forces have
So
entered UNSC
I just gotta play this to its
controlled
conclusion
space.
and then see what the hell, how long it's gonna take. But no, I think I found myself a little hole where the game stops working, and that's unfortunate, but I suppose it's a mod, so it's not exactly...
Allied forces have entered UNSC controlled space.
Not exactly amazing, but then again, most AAA games still have fucking problems like this. So I suppose at the end of the day, it's just... Well, They're not made by an armory of people paying, being paid a salary. So at the end of the day, should we move on to something else for the remainder of this evening?
Space.
I think I would. I thought we had this battle in hand, and I was ready to sit there and watch the culture, maybe tick back or forward, and then call it a night. But I think at this point, we already really know what's going to happen. I just kind of want to, it's my pride, damn it. I want to win this fucking planet because I feel like that, then I can walk away. I can, this is the line in the sand that I've drawn. I want this. I want this planet, and I can walk away. But in the end, it's starting to look like
Allied forces have
it's starting to look like I'm being knocked backwards. So it's, at the end of the day, not worth it. So I suppose that's it. So I guess I'm just going to stop here.
UNSC reinforcement.
I'm going to stop here. But the question is, what should we do for the rest of the evening? We can go back and play Yakuza 0, but I feel like anything would be more productive right now than actually doing any of that, because I've been knocked off that planet. They're gonna knock me back, and I'm gonna go back to... what is it? I'm gonna be knocked backwards to Sethos, and then I'm gonna send my units at Sethos, take Arcadia, and then be back here, and then maybe win, or maybe be knocked all the way back. And we'll be here forever. And it's not even really that interesting now. So, I've researched everything. There's nothing new I can pull out of a hat to really make this new. We basically just entered a stalemate. There's still combat going on, but at the end of the day, even if I took that planet, there'd still be combat going on. We'll play Holdfast for a little while. I don't think I actually have that installed, so actually I know how to... I have to think now, but... that's it. We need to play something fun. Or Tank Mechanic Sim. I could play Fall Guys. Maybe I can catch Kiara while she's streaming. She's apparently going to be playing Fall Guys at like 10 or 11 o'clock. So, So, right. Martin, you want to play Fall Guys and screw around for the rest of the evening? That's at least something to, freshen things up a bit. I think we're done here. Sure, what the hell. Alright then, I guess we're playing Fall Guys now, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, because I like what this mod does. It's just that now I've reached a point where it's not worth playing, because it's just, I found the ways it's broken, in that the enemy has an advantage that I can't overcome, because I am just not that cool, more or less. They've built an advantage that I can't overcome, but they can't kill me either. I would be able to sit there defending planets until the cows come home, really. But there's no worth in doing that, because that war I will be here for months playing this to overcome these odds. And not even overcome them, just to contest them. So, life's actually kind of a lot like that. And honestly, you know what? Life's probably a more important battle to do, to contest day in, day out. Like I was saying while playing Banished, the human condition is enough of a fucking struggle, right? As Billy Joel said, how did it go? I found that just surviving was a noble fight. I believed in causes too, had my pointless point of view, and life went on no matter who was wrong or right. So, appears that just surviving is good enough. Hey boss, I have a game that you may be interested in. Well, shoot, but I think we're done here, so give me a minute to go talk to Martin, but I think we're done with Sins of the Prophets. It's nice. Play it with other people, though, but this is... It's a theatric to get a game set up for this, really. Because you're with a lot of people playing, it's like playing multiplayer Civ. It's almost like running a independent paper group. Everybody's got to be... You got a large amount of people that have to be sitting there for a long time, and if one person's not there, you can't really do anything, so... I'd recommend it if you could do it, but it's still really kind of a thing to do, isn't it? So... I'm just gonna save, and then that's it. It's nice for what it is, it's just that it, the AI being so fucked for single player makes this kind of a hard sell. So... It's good. It's got good components. It's just that I again found an eventuality where the game just stops working and you can't make any headway. So, oh well. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end it here. We'll move on with the servant votes. We already have another contender. I'm going to talk to Dancing Fool probably after this work week's over and see how we can get that together. Because he's going to be GMing the game because he knows flat out the most about the game. So that's just the smoothest way of doing things. And then we'll see about what we're doing next week as well. Like I said, MechWarrior Living Legends is gearing up to have another update sometime soon. So, we shall see. But for right now, let's just move on to something else because I'm just going to be sitting here complaining for the entire evening, and that's not fun. That's not fun. I could do better than that. I could complain in much better games, like, well, Fall Guys to be, arguably better, but I can complain about current things, right? That's the game all the new kids are playing, right? All the VTubers are playing fucking Fall Guys. Maybe that's where I should compete now that Battle Royale has moved to not an Arma Light sort of third-person shooter, but now competitive Mario Party. Right? Maybe now it's my arena. Okay. So, I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on here, because at some point I actually uninstalled Fall Guys for some reason. I don't remember doing that, but hold on.